Welcome back to Clash. This is day 4 of Shurima Cup, and we're starting on this screen because guess what? The client bugged out. Ha ha ha, very funny. And I'm not sure if I actually caught the start of the game. I clicked spectate as soon as it said, oh, in-game you can spectate, but instead of being brought to a 3-minute delay screen, it brought me to this, which scares me because it tells me that the client may have just screwed me out of a few minutes at the start of the game. We will see when we get in to see if that's true or not. But for now, we will cast as if we're starting on minute 0. The loading screen is taking a long time. That makes me believe that I didn't miss the start, because if it was past 3 minutes, it will be instant. Okay, good. Alright, so unfortunately no pick and ban view. That's fine. We just meme during that time anyway. So here we are, game 1, Shurima Cup day 4. The final day of Shurima Cup, but also not the final day for Clash, because next week there's MSI Clash, which I'm torn on whether or not I want to commentate it, because I may be busy. I don't know. I may be busy, I may not be. We will see when the time comes. But there's going to be a lot of Clash games.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So let's go ahead and get started with game 1. Nami's going to start the game by walking face first into a Nautilus, but luckily they will spare each other's lives and just walk away. No early damage on either side. So the matchups, we're going to have Garen top against Malphite. The jungle matchup is Morgana against Wudir. Quinn mid against Katarina. The bottom lane matchup is Jhin Nautilus going up against Aphelios Nami. Nothing too particularly strange here coming out from either team. I actually don't mind Quinn mid. I think the champion at mid is fine. That's about all I have to say to it. I'm not going to say too much because I may end up jinxing the matchup one way or the other. So I'm just going to reserve my opinions until something happens, and then I'll talk about the rest. But we'll just go with that for now. I don't have anything against Jhin mid. I think it's fine. Jhin mid. I don't have anything against Quinn mid. I think it's fine. I'm not going to say if it's good or bad in this matchup yet. I'll wait until I'll wait and see who dies first, and then I won't get accused of jinxing people here. So let's go ahead. The bottom lane matchup here is Jhin Nautilus. It's pretty standard, a combo you don't see too often, but still an valid combo nonetheless, going up against Aphelios Nami. Nami is one of my personal favorite enchanters. Lulu is also up there, but in terms of enchanters, I really only like playing Lulu or Soraka, and I don't play them as support. I play them as solo lanes because I'm stupid. Don't do that. Nami is a champion that I always want to like, but never can. To me, it just seems like she's an inferior version of Lulu and Soraka. At least nowadays she is. I miss the days when she just came out. She was a really valid option as an enchanter. Not so much nowadays. Nami still has value though. Nami's existence means that if you play her remotely correctly, you have one lane. She packs a lot of early game power in her kit, makes trading in lane extremely difficult. Top lane, Garen's gonna go for silence. Nothing happens. But yes, Nami makes early games extremely difficult for whoever she's up against. Her kit is built to rack up early game damage, and if you have a Nami in your side, it's basically saying, I want to win laning phase. On the flip side, if you somehow lose laning phase with a Nami on your team, it's extremely frustrating to play that game forward as the Nami player. You're very squishy, everybody could kill you, you have really unreliable CC, and the utility you provide is just pales in comparison to Soraka or Lulu with super hard click on CC or super instant CC. So definitely Nami's niche is that you have to win early and fast, and so far red team is not winning early on and fast. They're in fact getting pushed in, and Jin's even got a CS lead going up with like Targon's support helping him CS. And here comes Udyr. He's gonna get swept out, but he's gonna get spotted out by a ward here. Which means in the perspective of a jungler, you should just immediately walk away, don't even bother killing the ward, just leave. Meanwhile, Morgana walks through a ward, spam pings happening on the Garen. It seems like the Garen either doesn't care or didn't pay attention. It's gonna be mashed by a teleport coming out from the Katarina. The Black Shield goes onto the Malphite, but Black Shield cannot stop the damage. Quinn actually jumps in to interrupt that Katarina teleport, and that's going to result in first blood here for the Katarina. I will say, first of all, good on the interruption, but also, you didn't need to. Katarina could not have killed anybody, even with that teleport completed. Malphite was already at his tower. He's already flashed away, thinking that the teleport was gonna finish. So, the damage is already done. Malphite lost the flash. And Morgana is never gonna die to Katarina. So, cancelling that teleport may have just killed the Quinn for no reason, because you didn't need to cancel it. You could have just let it finish and then start farming it. Katarina is not a champion that brings CC, so when she gets up there, she contributes about 400 damage and can't kill anything. So letting her go up there, I think would have been correct. But now the Quinn actually dies, and Katarina picks up the kill with the Udyr assist, of course. She's going to go back and pick up those items. Okay. And Quinn is going to pick up 2 long swords, working on a noon quiver. I hope. Please do not build a Dirk. This is not a team that you should build a Dirk into. Katarina is going to try to... She now has 1 kill up on the Quinn, essentially. So, as the assassin player in this matchup, this is where Quinn needs to start watching her back. It doesn't take much to snowball an assassin. Sometimes it just takes a single kill. Morgana is hovering around mid lane. She wants to look for this play. It's difficult to look for this play right now. Katarina going for this play next to a dagger. But of course Quinn can instantly interrupt to Death Lotus. The Dark Binding does go wide, but there's the Ignite committed. One last auto attack comes out. Quinn's Ignite may have finished a Katarina. I'm not sure if the auto attack was required, but the kill secure is a kill secure. That was a good play there by blue team. Taking that kill in this circumstance doesn't actually matter because there is the far greater price of being able to push this wave to her tower. Never mind, Quinn's going to back instead. Alright, so the advantage that you could have gained there is for naught. That is going to be a dagger picked up, so indeed a Noon Quiver component or just Berserker's component, who knows. We never know until we see the first semi-item component, and then we'll know for sure. Udyr's going to come in, get the freest smite. Nope, he's not going to press the F key on his keyboard, and instead will just get bound up and killed. Morgana's walking face first into a Katarina, going to start the Soul Shackles, but that's going to be an ultimate blown for no reason. However, Katarina tanks the first shot to the face. She's fallen very low. She banks backwards and then walks back into blue team, expecting something to happen. But instead will just be picked up. Quinn sitting on 3 assists, but Katarina sitting on 2 deaths. So really, who's the big loser now? Overall, hugely net positive play here for blue team. They do pick up positive bodies, I think. Yes, 2 for 1, I believe. They pick up positive body count, and they pick up a drink for themselves. And now our attention turns to the topside river, because it is now 8 minutes, and this is where teams generally start losing their minds as they contest for the Herald. Although I think as time went on, more and more teams have learned to not do that, because it's actually a pretty suboptimal play, and if you lose that fight, you lose the game. And people don't like dice rolling away the game 8 minutes in. But we'll see if they will go for it. Morgana's gonna hover around the river for a while. That Scuttle Crab is not hers. So she's going to walk back to her own jungle and start farming it up. Malphite going for more poke onto the Garen. Garen's going to immediately spin it back. Malphite can handily win this matchup. He just has enough armor that he doesn't need to care about Garen damage. And the thing with Garen is, you would most times, like 80% of the time, Udyr smites away the Gromp, by the way, but I think he's dead. Never mind, no Soul Shackles. He's not dead. Morgana's dead because there is a Garen dropping a big sword, and now the fight might be breaking out. Whoa, whoa, whoa! First of all, I choked on my spit, but second of all, I can't believe they're committing to this. That's a terrible idea. Katarina comes up top. That's a terrible idea for several reasons. Like, you can make that play with incomplete information, sure, but let me just make sure I don't die. And then, so if your jungler's already dead and Garen Udyr walks into your jungle, you probably can't fight that because that's not a 2v2. If your mid lane follows, it is probably best to assume that the enemy mid laner is also coming up. So you are now opting into a 2v3. And that's just not gonna work. Even if the mid laner is blind and they don't walk up, you still don't have the highest percentage chance of killing those two guys with a Quinn and a Malphite who just started the fight with ulti. It seems like a super low percentage play. They do get promptly punished for it because Katarina did do the rotation move, which is the thing that most players would do. They do opt into an unwinnable 2v3, and that results in a net loss from them, and it's more insult to injury because remember, this whole sequence of events started when Morgana lost her Grom to a smite. However, this is patch 11.10. I think I'm getting the number right. So I would say Morgana jungle is a fair bit stronger right now than the Udyr jungle with the recent chem tank nerfs. We'll see. I do prefer now characters like Morgana, Diana, and Shaco jungle so much more than what we used to prefer just 2 weeks ago now, like Hecarim and Udyr. And it seems to be like a huge paradigm shift in the jungle, but still for the most part nobody knows what the hell to play. Not to mention there's more jungle changes coming next patch. They're flattening smite damage and they're changing the jungle algorithm. They're re-adding catch-up experience. There's a lot more system changes coming to the jungle after what already seems like a meta shift has already happened this patch. So now the jungle role in general is just in this weird limbo state where I'm not sure what's going on in there anymore. Because by next patch, when you drop all of these jungle changes that they are planning to add, it's going to shake up the entire role. It's going to change the metagame a lot. It will favor heavy gankers a bit less and power farmers a bit more. And it makes Smite, the whole dichotomy around Smite, very interesting as well. Garen, like I previously said before the Grom fight really interrupted me, 80% of the time he does go for the Zerker Greaves. It is such a significant part of his damage output that he can't really afford to skip it most of the time. Malphite is also an expert at crippling enemies. Unfortunately, this pink ward may be costing his life as Udyr is walking up. But Garen cannot get this lockdown to save his life. Udyr's not going to make it up here in time. Malphite's a little bit too tanky. Although, when you're fighting Garen, your health bar is essentially halved because he has an unavoidable true damage execute. So he may appear healthy, but I mean, one bear clap to the face and that might just be enough CC to kill him. So he does need to be quite careful here. Now Lucidity Rush on Udyr, which I no longer mind as much as I did a month ago. I still think you need to be a lot more proactive with Lucidity Rush on any jungler, not just even Udyr. I still don't necessarily like it. I see a lot more people going for it than I care to admit. And I'm stubborn enough to be like, that's still bad. Because most times I just don't see people capitalizing off it. Although, the Udyr here not doing so bad with it. You know, he's using early Lucidity and making a lot of roams in the top side. And he's crushing a whole half of the map. Right now, blue team hardly has any control over their top side. So in this situation, you kind of have to ask yourself, what do we do? So you ask yourself two questions. One is topside salvageable? In this particular situation, I think the answer is still yes. You could still kill the Katarina and then start ganking up the Garen. Because Garen's going to be super far extended up. If you just kill the Katarina, remove the threat and roam top, you could pull the situation back. There is still a window to do so. But if the answer is no, like it might be right now with Jen being caught out by the tidal wave, countered by the death charge, both players in the blue team walk out alive, and Udyr doesn't pay any attention here to the bottom side. Aphelios hovered 10 chakrams floating around him, but won't get any off. But let's say we're now in the situation where topside is no longer salvageable. Because your 3-man chorus is no longer playing on top. Then you do what the Quinn's doing now. And you start ganking bottom lane. And you start trying to upside this balance. Because this is essentially an untouched ground. Neither jungler have done significant damage here, so that Quinn roam buys them some time, and now bot lane creates an opening. So now you can essentially quote-unquote split the map, where top side belongs to red team, but bot side is something that blue team can start looking to take. The question is, how much resources are you planning to secure, or how much resources are you planning to expend for this? Jhin is notoriously slow at killing a tower, and Nautilus has essentially the same reputation, so that tower will die in approximately 30 real-time minutes from now. So we'll check back at the 44-minute mark. Malphite is going up for yet another trade, but now I think this lane is gone away from him. Garen all of a sudden pulled up 30 CS ahead, first tower gets heralded, and he's got quite a bit of change in his pocket, 2,000 gold. That's Triforce money. Unfortunately, he is picking up Triforce, which means that he's essentially wasting his money. Or Sunder, which is Triforce but worse on Garen. He's essentially wasting his money then, because it's a valid item, just not too optimal. Strikebreaker is almost always the correct choice. And Morgana in quite a bit of trouble. Katarina opens up the Shumpo. Soul Shackle is coming out for the second time. Very, very late. But the instant interruptions onto Katarina. The Nautilus secures the kill onto the cat. Udyr wants it. He's running under tower for it. One more Phoenix Flame will get the kill. Double kill goes over to the Nautilus. Was that a KS? I don't think it was. I think there's a chance that Udyr... No, actually, I think Udyr dies to the tower for sure, but would you try it? I don't know. I don't think the lockdown there was the wrong play. I think the Nautilus should have taken that kill, just to make sure he's completely dead. There is maybe like a 10% chance that Udyr somehow survives the tower shots. Who knows? Alright, Malphite goes in onto the Garen. But Garen has a slow cleanse, which helps him get away from a Malphite. Can he make it over? There is a very fortuitous blast cone. So Malphite ult does not take a kill. That's not a good outcome here. The Malphite ult is not rank 2. It's close to rank 2, but it's not. Which means you're suffering an extra 20 seconds before it can come back up by using it at level 10. Definitely not saying save it till level 11, but using it as a rank 1 still hurts when it's very close to a rank 2. Now with that sequence of events, blue team has one winning lane so far, and it is bottom lane. You could make the argument that mid lane is not necessarily behind, but Katarina is currently primed to do a lot more around the map, just by virtue of red team having more map control. So if the game goes on in this state, eventually mid lane will hard lose. You just have much less of the map to play around in. Sure, Katarina can get bullied out by a Quinn, and this is now me sharing my opinions on the matchup at last. Katarina should be getting bullied out by a Quinn. Quinn has a lot of easy ways to shut down Katarina combos. But at the same time, when you don't have one side of your map to play around in, it's difficult. Because Quinn wants to make those roam plays just as much as Katarina, but if your map is reduced, you're less effective as a mid laner. So in a lot of ways, the mid matchup comes up to which team has more winning lanes. And right now the answer is definitely red side, except they take this very awful fight. Katarina comes in, Quinn no interruption remaining. You had to save the vault to kill the Katarina. But unfortunately, that seems like Katarina will just get 2 kills and make it out. But red team is choosing to re-engage this fight. A very mind-boggling decision. They will just drop one more body in exchange for another. Jhin pops a shot over the wall at the cat. That's going to scare her off. So the Jhin survives that sequence, and that's fine, because Jhin is the strongest member on blue team. You want him alive. But it is a 3-for-3 trade from what looked like a really promising sequence of events, and once again, this is somehow exactly where using Malphite ulti at rank 1 bites you, because he would have had it up if it was rank 2. The extra 20 seconds actually came in handy. Taking that fight without Malphite ultimate means that the fight wasn't as decisive as it could have been. If you add a Malphite ulti, that would have been an easy ace there for blue team, but unfortunately, the Malphite ult was expended. Now once again, I'm not saying that you should have saved the Malphite play in that. I think going for the Garen was a valid play 2 minutes ago. But the whole team has to be aware that Malphite ulti is not available, and you have to take that into account before you start a fight. You can instead opt to stall the fight until Malphite has the ultimate, and then you press the button and go. It seems like a lot of these team fights are just happening on the spur of the moment. And speaking of spur of the moment, here's another one that happens at a really awkward timing. Malphite pops instantly, and this time it goes all red team's way because blue team has insufficient setup to take this fight, and they just all get slaughtered. 4 kills to nothing. Katarina pops off huge, no interruption, which is shocking considering there are 2 sources of click-on interruption. Neither the Quinn nor the Malphite were able to get their CC off on Katarina in time, and Katarina cleans house. This is where positioning really matters for the Quinn. The only person you should be vaulting is the Katarina, and if you need to vault anything else to get away, it means that you're out of position. There it is, going for another aggressive play, but this one not necessarily favoring the Quinn. Can't really do plays like that when you've just lost 4 people. When the rest of your team is still resetting and you can fly back to lane, you have to be mindful of, is there anyone still lurking out there looking to pick you off? In that case, there almost was. Garen is luckily too slow and he doesn't have the strike breaker to force the play. But now we're looking at 20 minutes in. The kill score is not lopsided, but once again, the kill score kind of betrays the state of the game, and that blue team still just has less map to play around in. And that's not necessarily something the team gold can reflect, because it reflects on the part where how much of the map, what percentage of it can you safely farm. The game starts out with a 50-50 split, and it becomes a WoW game of Splatoon where both teams want to color the map in their own team colors. And if you have more percentages of the map, you pretty much have a way higher chance to win the game. It's almost correlating with your win percentage. If red team has 70% of the map in their control, then they have a 70% chance to win the game. It's not as it's a blanket oversimplification. Games aren't as simple as that. There's still drafts to consider, things like how well can one team turtle, how well can one team scale. But in the general sense, because red team has more map control, their gold lead goes up faster than blue team. Blue team can farm less waves before they have to back for fear of getting picked off. Not to mention the objective game. Blue team is up ahead, but that 3rd dragon was super costly. They were up 2 dragon to 0, but becoming 2-1 and 0 hurts a lot more than it should have considering the team fight that happened around the circumstance. Now we have 3 people mid trying to do nothing because that's not a siege you can do, so I'm not sure what Nami and Garen were doing there, or they could be anywhere else. Nami just seems to be shadowing the Katarina, which sure makes sense. Your bot lane is hopeless, so you abandon the Aphelios and you find somebody else that you can enchant. Katarina not necessarily the best partner for a Nami, and Nami is just slightly awkward in this team comp in general, really. Because imagine that Nami was a Lulu, or a Soraka, or even a Janna, and it would be a lot better. Nami doesn't quite fit into this team. Well, quite fit with what they want to do. She can provide a lot of burst movement speed, but that's not necessarily what you're looking for. Now, they are going to start this fight. Malphite is going to start the catch with Unstoppable Force. That's a very questionable sequence of events. You want to use it as he's popping his escape tools, not to start by a jump. And yes, that is going to be a double kill for the Katarina because you don't blow all your CC like that. The Malphite does not need to start with an ultimate. You need to let them react to you and then use your ultimate to cancel their escape tool. Because really, Malphite ultimate is your only viable way to instantly pounce on someone after they start walking away. And Garen was starting to walk away. And what could have been a 1-for-0 catch turns into a 2-for-1 disaster trade. I say 2-for-1, but red team proceeded to play Saving Private Ryan, where everybody, including Ryan, dies in the worst reboot of all time. And they drop 4 bodies on their way out of blue team's jungle. Blue team will lose their bottom turret because Aphelios does the one thing he's built to do, which is split push. It is the complete opposite of how you would want to play Aphelios, but he's so far behind that it doesn't seem to matter. Quinn comes down, scouts the area, realizes that he's backed, and there's a teleport coming up top. With Mountain Drake spawning in 40 seconds, Katarina teleports top. So she is going to kill approximately 3 minions and then decide to back off. Because that was just about the worst teleport I have ever witnessed in the game of League of Legends. But let's see if the Katarina can get punished for it. And the answer is no. Because she's already rotated to mid. And granted, the rest of blue team wasn't in position, but that Katarina had to make the long march happen to get to this dragon pit. And somehow, red team arrives at the pit faster still. They don't have the vision set up, but because blue team is on the other side of the wall, all of their wards become free punching bags. Because now they have the vision, but they can't walk in to secure the vision. And this is a very dangerous position. Katarina is hiding in the shadows, allows the Aphelios. They know she's there, but they don't know for sure. And that can blindside you. Quinn also presses W a little bit too far from the dragon pit. That W could have been really useful in scouting out where the cat was. But using it so far from the dragon pit means you won't see anything. The fight breaks out, Katarina passes to the back, but there is a Quinn in the backline as well. Both backlines are getting shredded. However, red team turns slightly faster as they get the remainder. Here comes a Malphite teleport as the fight is already wrapping up. Beautifully timed. In the worst sense possible, but Morgana lands a beautiful binding, and there it is. Udyr dies, and the Aphelios drops that on top of the tormented soil as well. That is going to be a 2-for-5 ace in favor of blue team. Losing just their mid laner and their support, and let's be honest, the mid laner actually did their job correctly. They assassinated everybody in the backline, while Katarina was too busy pouncing on the back as well. Jhin didn't die to the Katarina burst, which is extremely lucky. And that's what secured the fight. This 7-1-7 Jhin. Really feeling it today. Making the plays happen here. Although, still behind in items to the Aphelios. Is 2 completed items against 2. Oh, just kidding. There's the Zeo and the Kerchai Shard. Selling off the Doran's as well to buy 2 pinks. There's a lot of pink wares coming down from... not coming down, but sitting in the inventory of the blue team. And now they need to come down. Blue team has had superior vision control for the most part this game. And it's allowing them to pull back from this game. It's allowing them to claw back. To beat off these gold leads. And they are. They're mostly equalized the gold now. These team fights still are scary as hell to watch. Because it just takes one completely unchecked Katarina. I do think the dragon fight was more unlucky than anything, because the Katarina pounced to the back, where there's not really any instant CC to interrupt her. She dumped about half of Death Lotus before Nautilus interrupted her. That should have been enough to just kill the Jhin. And I count it as very lucky that the Katarina, either she flubbed the execution, or just super unlucky to not pop the Jhin there. This is a Jhin with no defensive items except for Gale Force, which not that helpful against the Katarina. Really reliant on the Nautilus here to just stand guard on the Jhin and make sure Katarina can't do some nasty things. Now we're sitting at 27.5 minutes. Red team is licking their wounds, looking for their next offensive. Unfortunately, I don't think that they realize the next offensive is probably at Baron's, because they're throwing 4 people bottom. What's the vision control like? Well, they don't see everything, but still, this is a prime time to just set up Baron, because you know how many people. You should have a rough approximation how many people are at bottom thanks to that one word. There it is. Nami and Aphelios just showed themselves on the map as well. And it seems like blue team's call is to just smash mid, which is never gonna work. The correct play is now just position topside. Either catch Garen or start setting up Baron and threaten it. You have to force the response from red team, because you can't really let them sit back and have the luxury of time. Time is one of the biggest luxuries you can have in this game. If you could just spontaneously generate 20 extra seconds, you would win a lot more fights. And you can't ever let the enemy team set up for what they want to do. And it seems like blue team has some cold feet about walking into the Baron pit. Because they know red team is still committing the lion's share of their forces to the bottom half of the map. These junglers are the jungler to support the bottom lane, even sometimes the Katarina. They suspiciously love killing this Gromp camp. And this Gromp's wondering what the hell he did to this Udyr, but this Udyr just have it out for him. But at the same time, blue team is very... They have cold feet about walking into Baron Pit. This is where you want to secure the vision with more than one pink ward. You can even start it. You don't have to kill the Baron. You can just start the Baron and force a response and look for a fight. Because you are in a stronger position. You have won team fights. Sure, the team fights are scary, but you can win team fights a lot easier if you make the Katarina walk into you, as opposed to letting her jump on you with a teammate, with her teammates already set up to protect her. It seems like blue team are still not setting up for Baron. They instead want to kill the top tower, which is valid. It's a valid alternative. Oh wait, there's a teleport! Oh, Katarina loses a teleport. What were you thinking? Oh, okay. So now Katarina has no teleport. And Garen has to go back. But they have drawn people to the top side, because that's what... This is the thought pattern of orangutans. When you see something happen, you investigate. To what end and for what means is unclear, but you investigate. You don't really know what you're doing there, you don't really know what you're looking for, and somehow both teams managed to waste the past 3 minutes of their lives, and now the dragon is respawning. Because I started this rant when the dragon timer was 3.5 minutes away from spawning. But now we'll have the vision dance again. But dragon is now a much more tangible objective. It's coming up, so you know, you gotta fight for it. There's still 5 pink wards sitting in blue team's inventory, and they're already camped out in the pit. In no world can red team win this, right? Right? Question mark? There is a teleport. It's not Katarina, it's the Garen. The tidal wave comes down, it only separates the Nautilus. He's tanky enough to survive. Teleport coming down here from the Malphite as well. It is so late for Malphite to come in, and they somehow lose the dragon position. They do snag out the mountain soul because Tormented Soil finishes it. Meanwhile, the Quinn wrecking the backline. Nobody's contesting her. Katarina's already dead. Garen is next to go. Aphelios just dies and nobody cares. Udyr has to try to run away now. Flash in, no cheese wheel. He is going to walk away with Monkey's agility. The captive audience, or Deadly Flourish rather, is not going to find a route. Nobody hit the Udyr long enough. I have several criticisms about that. I suppose we'll make a mark of this moment and talk about it after the game, because it will take too long otherwise. But there are several ways that whole fight should have been an absolute disaster, and to be fairly honest, a lot of this game has come down to blue team getting really lucky. These are not fights that you should be winning. Anyway, Udyr goes for a camp and somehow doesn't see the pink. And now blue team comes back up. They still have 5 pink wards on them. They have placed a few since. But if you have 5 pink wards between the 3 of you, why not just secure Baron Vision? I don't understand the version of this specific objective. Especially when you know there's 2 people bottom lane. They can't respond to you. And if Katarina jumps in with just a Garen and Udyr, she's dead. She can't survive into 5 people. Now Udyr is the next to go for the Baron objective. So Baron, securing Vision on Baron doesn't mean drop 1 ward in the pit. That's not the only thing you need to do. Because that can just happen. Udyr doesn't come in, slap the ward into oblivion. But once again, it seems like the Vision secure is just... It's a constant push and pull. It's like a Korean soap drama. You just have foreplay for 1,000 episodes. And then you get bored enough, and then the producers are like, here's the series finale. And speaking of the series finale, this might be a fight, but blue team is currently severely down in numbers. They have a Malphite that's really tanky, but he can't survive indefinitely, and that's already gonna be 1-for-1 for now. It might be 2 very soon. The shield is popped by the Nautilus with the locket, but it's not gonna be enough. He gets taken down. It's a 2-for-1. The red team decides to start a Baron? Are they sure they should be doing this? There's a Quinn pushing bottom lane. And they don't necessarily have the fastest Baron killers, because turns out Aphelios actually sucks at the game because he doesn't know how to maximize Baron damage. He has Pistol Chakram! This Baron should be dead! Build up Chakrams! What are you doing? Alright, so Morgana is hovering around. So they are gonna get the Baron. Like that's happening. They all started recalling when Baron was 70 health. Oh my god. Okay, they do make it back. Katarina still recalled early. She didn't even get the Baron recall. I mean, okay, this is something else I want to talk about. Oh, I guess we'll save a lot of this stuff for the end of the game, but still, I don't understand why these things are happening. Well, we'll see. We'll see how the game plays out, because now red team found themselves a possible way to win the game. It's not necessarily like they don't necessarily like have a definite way now, because Elder's up in 2, and this game might go into Elder, and it turns to the case of whoever gets Elder will win. And so far, blue team's objective takes have been very coin flippy. It could have gone either way. This could have very easily been 2 Drakes still on blue team, and red team has 3 mountains. That could have very easily been the outcome if red team didn't flub a lot of their executions, or if blue team didn't get really lucky with some of their secures. Oh my god, that Quinn attack speed. It's pretty funny. Now they are going to secure vision again. So the rule of thumb about League, for any global objective, you want to be there. Well, you want to reset around a minute before the objective spawns, and you want to be at the pit no less than 20 seconds remaining on the respawn timer. If you're there after that, you probably already lost it. Ideally, if it's a really important game-winning objective like Elder, you want to be there super early. You want to be there like 40 seconds in, have all the vision set up. And then by 20 seconds in, you're ready for the enemies to start walking into you, if you're there fast. So you can see here, red team are obviously not taking that advice to heart. It is 40 seconds left until the Elder. They're not resetting. So they could be sitting on a lot more pinks than this. Without pinks, you can't walk into dark areas. That's going to be a disconnection coming up from the Malphite, which complicates matters. So now you're fighting a 4v5. But if I hear, like, okay, if Malphite doesn't make it back and this game is lost because of it, I don't want to hear anything like, if Malphite was here, we could have won the game, because that's false. That's a false train of thought to hold. Now it's a 4v4. It's a false because this game should have been over 10 minutes ago. Teleport is coming down. That's the Garen. They're committing to an Elder Star with knowing that their Malphite's not here, and this might cost them huge. Aphelios assassination unsuccessful. That might be just total disaster here. They opted into an Elder Star without a Malphite? Are you kidding? I don't think he can... Oh my. That's bad, because now they lose Elder. And they might believe that this happened because Malphite's not in the game. That's false for a lot of reasons. But now red team secures Elder. Because you have to adjust the game based on what's happening. And if your Malphite is disconnected, you don't have to start at Elder. If you found a pick, you could make them believe that they're starting Elder and force them in instead of taking that really lopsided fight. But now the game suddenly gets a lot harder. In fact, I think the game's over. It very easily could be. Okay, well, I guess that's something else I need to talk about. There's a lot of moments here to discuss. So, we're now sitting at 39 minutes into this game. Despite Red Team having taken the Elder, they have decided to do nothing with it because they want to kill jungle camps with their Elder Burn, which doesn't even work. Instead of just killing champions. So what do they intend to do with this Elder Dragon? Elder Dragon lasts 3 minutes, but at the same time it doesn't last as long as Baron, because it doesn't actually allow you to push any faster. So it seems like the buff times out a bit faster. Now you need to catch people with this Elder. Let me click on one of them. How long is Elder gonna last? Ah, it doesn't show me on Spectate. Of course it doesn't. But I mean, okay, Elder's not long for this world. It's got about 1.5 minutes left. And Quinn, don't walk in that way. Okay. Okay, given the penchant of Red Team to needlessly stall out the game, I'm inclined to believe that unless Blue Team opts into something terrible, they're not gonna do anything with this Elder. Blue Team doesn't have half bad wave clear. They could just clear these waves, because Red Team has no Baron. As I say that, they might be trying to force something. You don't have to fight this! They still have Elder! You can let the tower die. You can let the inhib die. You do not have to die for this. If you die for this, the game is over. You can throw your lives away for much nobler causes than a single tower and 1 inhibitor. 1 inhibitor is not game ending. You can let them have it because they get Elder. Oh, the Malphite may be caught out here. But no, who am I kidding? He's Malphite. He's never gonna die. The only thing that can defeat him is his ISP. So now we're sitting at 41 minutes. As if it's prophecy. Red Team has squandered the entire Elder buff has been squandered. They used it and dealt like 100 damage. That's it. That was the worst Elder I've ever seen. And now Blue Team is going to start Baron with admittedly pretty little preparation, but they realized something that they should have realized 20 minutes ago, that Red Team has no sense of objective control. These are monkey level gameplays where you hear noise, so you check out noise. You don't necessarily understand the context and the relevance and the consequences of said noise, but you just go check. And you just wave at the ship as it passes you by. These Red Team has the attention span of goldfish. They could have done they could have done anything with everything that's been handed to them. But now it's Blue Team's turn to be proactive because they're the ones with Baron buff. And their Red Team are the ones without the Elder buff. So this is a totally winnable situation. You don't need to stop the Garen. You can just keep pushing. Baron recall gets you really fast home. Imagine the Malphite was here and you started the team fight. The Garen would have been forced to come home already, and if he doesn't come home, you just Baron recall and match him. But instead, without a Malphite, this team fight will just be a total wash. And now Udyr pounces onto the backline. He's going onto the Jhin, but he won't get a kill here. Teleport is coming from the Malphite super deep! Oh my goodness! What is this? You cannot go in! There's a Garen separating you! You have to turn around and fight this, but there's a Quinn. The Catalina drops dead. Why is the Garen not going on the Jhin? What is wrong with this guy? Okay, well, that fight shouldn't have been winnable, but lo and behold, do not ping out the Elder Dragon. End the game. End the game. Do not ping Elder. Elder is not your play. The Nexus is your play. It's just a Nami. Where are you going?
Oh no, where
are you going? No! No! To end the game! It's a Nami! What's she gonna do? This Nami is Edo Japan! She exists to be sushi delivery! Just... You don't even need to pay! Alright, they're trying to end the game. Quinn flew back mid because she heard that there's sushi here. And it does seem like they'll win. It seems like they will win. Katarina goes in for a pop, instantly cancelled. Deathload is not effective. Jin gets the first shot, and that's it. 44 minutes in. Blue team wins the game. And as promised, there are several moments that game where we gotta discuss. We have to discuss and analyze in greater detail. We're waiting for the next Clash game anyway, so let's go ahead and analyze some of these moments of why both teams screwed up big time. So we'll start by, there's 3 moments I want to look at. So the first thing is, I'm also interested in what information they had. Because when you're spectating, you watch the game with complete information. There's no fog of war. You have vision of both sides. So I want to see, first of all, around this moment. So this is when I was first initially screaming that, hey, red team is throwing all their bodies bot. So you see 3 people around bot side. There's red buff being taken here, which honestly should go to the Jin, because the Jin is super fed at this stage. He's strong enough to receive this red buff. So let's see what blue team sees in this moment in time. There's 3 minutes left until the dragon. So you know that nobody should be down here, because there's no objectives to be taken. In fact, red team should be down here. This tower is of interest to them to kill, so they're committing people down here. So you see Aphelios. And this is a pretty good moment. This is where the Nautilus says, I want to secure vision around Baron, so you walk into the river, but oh no, there's 2 people. They get the scuttle. But the thing is, the scuttle is, a scuttle around the Baron pit does not automatically mean we can't do Baron. Because it doesn't matter if they have vision of you if they're not in position to respawn. So I'm really curious why this Baron vision control was not grabbed at this stage in the game. Because there's a scuttle, because you already have solid vision enough. You have visibility of half the river here. So now they're going to walk in as a team. They want to take the Baron vision. Good. They secure quite a bit. You spot out Udyr boss side. So if you spot out Udyr boss side, there's no reason to be this timid, because you don't need to walk back to lane. You're walking in with your Morgana jungle with 2 pink wards, and your Nautilus jungle with Nautilus support with 2 pink wards. You have a Malphite standing up here to provide your support. You could very easily, because you know Aphelios is here, Udyr is here, Katarina is here. We don't know where the rest of them are. Well, Garen's top, Nami's here, but we don't know that. So let's ignore that for a second. If you know Udyr's here, if you know Aphelios is here, Katarina's here, there's no threat that can stop you from walking into here and start securing vision. Because the thing about securing Baron vision is it's not just as simple as 1 word in the pit. You need a word here in this brush, and a word in the try. Better yet, a word here. You want to choke out all the potential angles that they can teleport or come in from. But instead, knowing this information, blue team chooses to turn bot. That's not the correct decision here for several reasons. That's a very incorrect decision here for... Oh, why am I echoing?
That's me.
Yes, may I mute you? Okay, there you go. So that's an incorrect decision because you cannot make it down here fast enough. This is also not a catch, because I don't think you can kill anyone here. You could just be walking in, taking Baron vision. This is the objective that you will be fighting around, and as we speak, it's already been a full minute. It's been a minute and a half since there's been a lot of bodies confirmed at the bottom side. You catch out this Garen here. He's gonna walk away. And already, this is a pretty terrible situation because Nautilus chose to go bot and then had to turn around halfway through. Quinn failed to catch, which is resetting. So now there's a suddenly undermanned. Even the Jin went down. This could have been a fight around Baron if nobody turned around. If you started grabbing vision here, this fight would not have been undermanned. You could have easily won it. It was salvaged nonetheless. You got the kill on the Katarina. That's fine. Alright, let's fast forward here a little bit. So now it's 28 minutes in. And once again, from blue team's vision, there's 3 members bottom half. They're playing 1-1-3, which is the incorrect configuration at this stage in the game, especially when there's 3 minutes left on a dragon. This mid push is never gonna work, because this is where, as a team, when you know there's still boss side presence, start collecting vision around the Baron. But the thing with securing Baron vision is it's not as simple as just dropping a ward and leaving. Because this is not Baron vision. Baron vision means getting the vicinity as well. This is only half of the angles they can come in from. You need a vision here because it covers 2 different entrance points. This one ward provides essentially no information. It tells you if they're gonna sneak it, but you know they can't sneak it. They could easily take this entrance, stop you from Baroning if they just wanted to reset. And in fact, you could have just forced the Baron here, actually. And once again, this song and dance continues for like 2 minutes. They constantly have people boss side too, which is also something I don't get from red team. I don't understand what is so attractive about this lane in particular that they keep throwing 2 bodies down. You can just let the Aphelios solo farm. When an Enchantress walks down to farm with the Aphelios, you're taking EXP away from the AD carry as well. And you're really not getting that much. The support should be right now proactively grabbing vision, and there it is, there's a word in the try, but this is still insufficient vision coverage around Baron. This should really be happening still, because throwing people here is a mistake. You can't get any objectives down there. They go for this play, they kill the tower, but what I'm really interested in looking at is this fight right here. They stalled out enough time that nothing productive happens, so now they're on their way to the dragon. This is soul point. So clearly you want to secure this. And they are going to start it right away. So here's the thing with team comps. If you start this right away, Malphite needs to teleport. I don't care if he's close. Just come in. Especially if you see an enemy teleport coming as well. Now Udyr runs in. Malphite should really teleport. He's clearing the waves, but he should really come. He's clearing that one cannon. Tidal wave is committed. Malphite should really teleport. Now walking in is already too late to join the fight. He should be teleporting onto this ward. So this is for all intents and purposes a 5v4 situation. The Udyr has fully engaged into this fight. The tidal wave has cut off the support. And if red team does a proper thing and kill the Nautilus right here, the dragon is theirs. But they mess up. They don't kill this Nautilus. And they just let the Nautilus walk away. And only now does the Malphite start his teleport, and he's already walked halfway top. Even though red team has pulled the trigger to start the dragon, Malphite walks halfway topside because for some reason joining this fight is not a priority. So this is a terrible situation just by looking at it. There's a Udyr here smacking this dragon. This Katarina is in position to access the backline. This Garen is distracting everybody. This should be a wash. Blue team should be wiped. They shouldn't have this dragon. This Nautilus should also be dead, because that tidal wave was cutting him off, but for some reason, these 2 people were just contributing nothing. Depth charge is committed. Katarina doesn't spin on the back, she Death Lotus is in the pit, which hits exactly 2 people. The 2 people that can't die. Morgana panics Zayas in the pit along with Soul Shackle, so now she's holding people down. But this is a terrible situation, because even if the Soul Shackle connects, how is blue team's backline supposed to walk in here? That's not possible. And only now does the teleport complete when the Nautilus is already dead. This fight is over. Blue team has lost it. And I'm so impressed that red team lost this team fight. From this position. How did they even manage that? So the smite is preemptive, and this is an extremely lucky secure. Morgana's Soil does the last tick of damage. But for all intents and purposes, like, that was a really lucky outcome. This could very easily have not been Mountain Soul. And with Mountain Soul secured, the Soul Shackles connect, Malphite makes his way in, and he actually hits the correct target. Not the Aphelios, he needs to hit the Katarina. There's a correct target. Katarina dies to the Morgana damage. And they won the team fight. I'm shocked that they won that team fight. I'm shocked they secured the dragon. I'm shocked that they won that team fight. I'm shocked that red team didn't outright win the game from there. One more thing I want to look at here is this. They have the Baron secure because once again, one word in the pit doesn't mean you have Baron vision. That's not what Baron vision means. But I want to see the moments of the Elder Drake. So this is where the really unfortunate ISP diff happens and Malphite leaves the game because disconnection. So you have to consider what can you do around this moment, because even 10 minutes prior, actually what happened at this Baron fight? Was there a bad thing at this Baron fight? I don't even remember anymore. Malphite trying to clear the ward. This is a terrible place to be at all times. But this is somehow collapsed. And this is what happens when you try to clear Baron vision with a melee character and you don't have the rest of your team with you. Quinn is farming bots, so nobody should be here. Securing vision is a team thing. And if red team brings more people here, they will get it. And you don't have damage. Your Jhin and Quinn are in different places. Quinn is still split pushing. So in this situation, they shouldn't have been here at all. They do secure a Woodir kill, which honestly it stops their ability to Baron for a little bit. But they do this worst Baron imaginable. Because now you're at the situation where you're paying back because you can't walk into this. But you can. There's a pink ward here. You can see them committing to Dragon. You could walk in. With the pink ward here, you have full reassurance that even if you walk into this brush, you're safe. You could just walk into that brush, start chucking out bindings, and that's enough to force them off. Because again, the mode here is you're buying time for Quinn. You're not looking to steal this dragon. There was a bad setup. We're over that. But now we need to stop recalls. But with a pink here, you don't have to have cold feet about it. You can start chucking in bindings. You know there's no vision here. You know for a fact that there's no vision. The Katarina pounces out immediately, goes for a play on Morgana. It doesn't work. But you also don't need to be here. You can just stand like where the Garen's corpse is. Just make them panic. Because if you're here, they can hop at you from over the wall. But if you're here, they have to leave the pit to get you. They're still doing the slowest Baron of all time. Because once again, Aphelios doesn't understand Pistol Chakram. He depleted both ammos. And this is the slowest Baron take of all time. Garen left the pit. So, fun fact about Baron. The person Baron is hitting does half damage to it. Which is why you always want the non-damage dealers tanking Baron. In that case, Aphelios was tanking Baron and he was shredding Baron way slower than he's supposed to. Because if Baron's hitting him, he does half damage. And this Baron took way too long for him to kill. But that's Baron, and that's enough time for Quinn to say, alright, I'm getting out. But this is actually a positive play from blue team. They got an inhib as a trade for this Baron, which means that this push is going to be a lot slower. And then red team squanders Baron by, instead of pushing, just goes for this really ham-fisted fight. Malphite's already disconnected, so what do you do? The answer obviously is you can't fight for Elder, so you probably shouldn't try. Quinn gets a really good pick here onto the Nami, but unfortunately it's the Nami. She's about as useful as actual sushi at this stage in the game. This word is not spotted by that pink because you can't drop pink words at the rim of the dragon or Baron pit. It will not see words on the other side. So they might have thought there was no vision here, and this word, it needed to be killed. There's an active sweeper that should have been used, because this might be a harsh lesson to learn, because if you drop a word at the rim, you can't see the full pit. That's not how pink words vision works. And that's a teleport. So they thought it was a blind commit to the Elder perhaps, because I can't think of any other reasons why you would pick a 4v4. The target selection here is also off. Aphelios is significantly worse than the significantly weaker than the Katarina, and you can't really go for this play without confirming where the Katarina is, and is a prompt punish. Katarina gets the kill, and then the fight is over. The correct play here was to just not go for the Elder. If you picked off a Nami, it's a 4v4. Sweep out the pit. It doesn't matter. There's a pink here. Confirm they're not here. Like confirm they can't see, and then force them to come in. If Katarina runs into you instead of getting this really mysterious jump over the wall, it's hard for her to do anything. And then this is the part of the review. I have to check if I have time. I don't have time because the next Clash game has already started. So we're gonna go ahead and cast the next game. And I spent too long reviewing because the game's already started. I wanted to flame red team a bit more for just totally wasting the red buff, but... Alright, we're at 1 minute. So luckily we didn't miss that much. Nobody died. So clearly nothing valuable or nothing interesting happened. But let's run down the matchups while we're here. We're gonna have Nasus top against the Malphite. The bot lane matchup is Alistar Aphelios. They're swapping out the Nami in game 2. Obviously different players, but Alistar is it's a way better partner than Nami for the Aphelios. The mid lane is Nico into Yasuo, Volibear into Udyr. Volibear is a fine pick in the jungle nowadays. I don't hate the pick. Once again, I think it's fine for what they want to do. Alright, let's get started with this game. We didn't see the start of it, but nothing ever happens in the first minute. I actually prefer it this way. Alright, Malphite going for a play onto the Nasus. He has the shield, he's going for the seismic shard instead of farming. But he's zoning the Nasus off from early money. Now Nico and Yasuo both level 2. So fun fact about Nico, Yasuo cannot win while her third auto attack. Very common knowledge. Because Yasuo can only win while projectiles, and Nico's third auto is a laser. It's one of those subtle differences. It reminds me of like Smash Brothers, where Richter and Simon have different properties with holy water, and Oliver's Pikmin are immune to one but not the other. It's like this super weird niche situation that actually means that Nico can still get damage off through wind wall. In lane, the third auto on the W is not a joke. You can, whenever you have third auto, just throw it on the enemy, and it's actually quite a bit of damage as it racks up the lane. It can get a little bit unbearable for the Yasuo too. It's a surprisingly difficult matchup because Yasuo can get some ankles broken in that matchup, man. But Udyr's gonna walk and slap down the Malphite the whole way through, but Malphite will die to the Nasus through the Spirit Fire actually. He didn't flash because that was actually kind of correct. You probably want to hold flash in that situation. You were dead regardless.
Hot take. Flashing would have been an int.
Yeah, that's correct. Flashing would have been an int. You should have held it, and he did. You were dead to Udyr regardless, so... Aphelios gets bound up and soiled. Tanks about 200 health worth of damage. The bouncing grenade flies backwards onto the minion wave. But once again, Jhin off to the tiniest of leads in the matchup here. Morgana is actually a really good pick into the Alistar too. You can stop the headbutt pop combo with just back shield. Alistar's headbutt does not do enough damage to break the shield to allow Power Rise to go through. Assuming you throw it down at the correct timing. Now Nico is going to go in with the Entangle, and the third auto through the wind wall, unblockable for the Yasuo. Kills him off right there. Morgana is going to self-black shield. Alistar is building up the trample stacks, but he autos a little bit too early. Doesn't get the stun. Ooh, you could have walked a bit more. Morgana walks away, safe and sound. And in fact, Alistar loses quite a bit of health, but Morgana's decently low on mana. Spellthief's Edge gives you a tiny amount of mana regen, but you're gonna need a bit more than that. Does she have Mana Flow Band? I sure hope she does. She does. Mana Flow Band will help in that cause a little bit as well. Udyr comes down, he does not have the Ghost. Alistar goes in for a flash play regardless. It gets black shielded, which means this play goes sideways in all the worst manners imaginable. And what the hell is his name? 420 Big Mac 69 dies by trying to assist in the gank.
That was a really bad play by 420 Big Mac 69.
Also, what are these names? I didn't even get to see these names. My big fat balls on the what? What are these summoner names? Hold up.
I just want to point out, there's not one, not two, but 3 doctors in this game. Impressive.
Wow, there are 3 doctors. There's an MD, there's Dr. Strong Girls and there's Dr. Toast Savage. I personally don't mind a nice old toast on my sandwiches, but you probably shouldn't name yourself Toast Savage if you're a doctor. There are more respectable names out there. But blue team has more doctors. They have more medical practitioners, so clearly it's a doctor diff if they win this game. Nico going for another trade. She's 1-0, picks up the correct first item, going Seekers against the Yasuo. But it would be a mistake to go any further than that. Just sit on Seekers and we'll be fine. Work on the Everfrost. If gonna get bound up with the AFK binding. And it seems like Alistar will play the Martyr. Nobody's gonna kill him? Well, the Dark Binding will do it. There's a kill onto the Alistar yet again. 0-2 Alistar to start the game. It seems like he's dropped his Big Mac. Yasuo Tornado goes totally wide. And, well, Yasuo did an open call. But he died and went back to base and said, I have 750 gold, what should I buy? And for some reason, the correct answer was call. I don't necessarily know what he was thinking, perhaps he wasn't, but he is going to be punished by getting killed by a Nico 1v1. You can't win while a lot of Nico's damage, and Nico shows it. This matchup is surprisingly rough for the Yasuo. Malphite is going to use Unstoppable Force to get away, and a flash to boot, but that's a Udyr with Ghost. However, he walks backward for some reason, tanks an extra tower shot, and dies because of it. The Nasus is ulted, he has half Q cooldown, and he has the Ghost running. Wait, no, he no longer has the Ghost running, so Volibear is still giving chase. Volibear cannot turn off that tower, so this dive will be a mistake. The correct play here is to certainly push out that mini wave, make it crash into the tower. And it seems like that's what the Volibear is doing.
These ganks can all be summarized by the word overextending.
Yep. I don't know what the Udyr was thinking. Because
ult flash and you decide to tower dive. You should just left.
And when he got to the tower, he got cold feet and turned around for a second too. He's a very indecisive person, and that ultimately got him killed. Udyr is going to try again running bot, but this time he doesn't have ghost, he doesn't have any secure, and Alistar just cannot land any CC. What was that headbutt? Saves Morgana's life. Oh my gosh, he may have had one too many Big Macs, he just cannot connect CC onto blue team. This is... I mean, it makes sense his name is Big Mac, he's getting processed into beef all game long so far. And his name is 420 because so far he's getting smoked. I'm not sure about the 69 part, I have to work on that still. But it seems like Udyr will go ahead and solo the dragon, which is a terrifyingly inefficient endeavor. At 9 minutes into the game, he's still level 5 for God's sakes. Volibear is level 7. Are you sure you should be soloing the dragon instead of farming up? This dragon doesn't even do anything early game. He does get the dragon, like big whoop, but meanwhile top lane, that's a death, and going for this dragon is a huge int. Because he just hits level 6 off that dragon, he gets 25 gold off it. The stack itself is essentially worthless. One dragon stack has never... Almost never, actually. I shouldn't say never, but one dragon stack has never decided the outcome of anything. This one mountain drake just means that you can stack 3 of one objective later down the road.
No, all I got to say is Alistar can't play Alistar.
This Alistar is just beef. Free beef. And Jin's eating burgers tonight. Or Morgana's eating burgers, rather, because Morgana has all the kills. Now Udyr is going to yoink away the red buff. And blue team doesn't go for the collapse. Wait, hold up. What are these traps? What are these traps? You probably should scatter them around a bit more, but there is a super forceful play here. Yasuo flash, macro flash, and the ignite finishes him. Nico gets her 3rd kill in lane. Flash Ignite committed, and Flash as well on the Volibear. No ultimate, but Yasuo dies. He uses his own Flash, but he still has Ignite, but the thing is he can't use it anymore. He no longer wins straight up 1v1s against the Nico. Which is normal, I guess, because Nico is actually a pretty good match into him. And he's learning firsthand just how terrifying close range CC is. Nico can reposition around Windwall very easily, and Windwall cannot fully block the Nico combo. Because Nico initiates combo with ulti. And Yasuo cannot keep flow shield up with Nico autos threatening him. Now the Volibear ganking everywhere. Very proactive jungling. I like it. Going hard here for this Nasus. Whose first item, the Lucidity Boots. Now if your first item a tier 2 boots on top lane, usually it means you want to survive. And Lucidity Boots does the very opposite of that. So really he's no better off against the Malphite, and he's just wasted 650 gold.
Logan, you laugh, but wait until he has 600 stacked at 30 minutes.
I will eagerly await because he has 19 minutes left to do that, and he's got how many stacks he got? He's got 165, which is actually below par at this stage in the game. It's not terrible. Like it's not like 100. That would be awful, but it's definitely not at par yet. That was a tower dive and a half. They do kill 2 bodies. Malphite tanks the entirety of the tower and he doesn't die because Malphite. And he's going to go home and work on his mythic. Now don't start this Herald with 2 people. Nico needs to go to mid. You don't need Nico damage to kill the Herald. Herald dies 1v1 to any champion in the game. Do not stop doing that. Okay, go mid and farm the wave. It's much more important. And now Morgana is clearing out the vision here. I mean, Yasuo knows the Morgana's there, so he should be safer than this. But he's still pushing into Nico's face, daring the Nico to engage. I mean, Nico might be happy to oblige. Even though she has no ulti, Morgana's just gonna walk in. It seems like he has overheal. Because he's getting a shield from somewhere. Hold up, let me click on him. Yeah, he does have overheal. It's not a triumph. I mean, he does go shield bow, but overheal on Yasuo is interesting.
Turret plating will fall soon.
And Nasus and Malphite both farming, but the unfortunate part about this is Nasus can realistically never ever kill a Malphite. Even though he's stacking up, like he's barely breaking a shield with the Sheen proc. Malphite just kind of shrugs off his damage because, you know, Malphite. And really, you can just keep up the cheese wheel poke and he can't stand it. You have the healing reduction on him if he autos you. Yasuo is going for a play. Nico's going to immediately turn it around, but the Pop Blossom pops onto nothing. Nico drops the clone away. Double root onto the Udyr. This is the worst gank of all time. The Udyr just tanks 400 health of damage and leaves. He's tanking even more damage on his way out. This game is just not working out well for the Udyr player right so far. Morgana goes for a play onto the Alistar. He needs to scream! Alistar, your ulti breaks CCs, do you not know that? Why is he not ulting? Oh my god, he ulted at the last second! Oh my goodness, 420 big, max 69, I had such high hopes for you. I hoped you wouldn't be the Big Mac.
He is not a good Alistar player.
He is a Big Mac player, he is not an Alistar player. I mean, he's got Moby boots, but he's not roaming. He's still Aphelios' babysitter with a Moby boots. And also, he hasn't hit a headbutt Paul this game. Like, I don't understand why you would buy Moby boots if you can't play the game. And meanwhile, Mr. My Big Fat Balls pops the ultimate and the ghost very early on. He wants his kill onto the Malphite. The Wither goes down. And that is a brilliant use of alt ghost. Malphite just sits in the tower wondering what the hell he did that for. Because it accomplishes absolutely nothing. It's just nothing. And now there's no global objectives. This is a very safe TP back to the tower. And Nasus is out of mana. So he can't kill this tower. And his big fat balls will walk their way all the way back to the fountain. Or I guess to this pink ward. And then back to the fountain. Because he's got no mana. Neeko pops a Rocket Belt. Very interestingly, Rocket Belt over Everfrost. I like the Everfrost a lot more because it prolongs your CC combo. Because late game when Neeko can CC someone for like 7 seconds with Everfrost, it's pretty bonkers. Rocket Belt is also valid. She is fed enough to say I can zoom my way in there and land a fat ult. I mean, more power to you if you go for that choice instead. As long as you can make the item work, it is a valid alternative. But you have to make it work. And here comes the support Morgana coming up top, takes a cannon. Cheeky. Roams all the way top. Meanwhile, Mr. 420 Big Mac lands his first headbutt palm of the game. That's going to kill off the Aphelios at bottom lane. Not the Aphelios, the Jhin rather. That's going to give Aphelios free time to work on the tower. And by tower, I of course mean the pink ward. Because he's not going to push. Until now. And now the Morgana realizes, oh crap, bot died. So now you gotta walk all the way back bot. That's a really inappropriate time to roam for a Morgana. When your bot is getting pushed in. They can threaten the dive. I mean, I know this Alistar has the equivalent IQ of a dead cow, but he could pull down the CC if he wanted to, and he did. And there's the turn coming down. Aphelios was not hit by the Pop Blossom, but he is dropping quite low. Morgana pops the stopwatch, but it has no other abilities there, so she just dies as soon as she pops out. Alistar goes for the CC on the least consequential member right now. Neeko gets her cooldowns back. She says thanks for the time in midair. I mean, he blew out his combo on Neeko, who's getting her cooldowns back, instead of the Volibear, who's huge and running down the Woodir. So really, Mr. Big Mac here just... Poor target selection, really. Fortunately, Woodir doesn't die for his mistake, but they are going to take first tower in the interim. It's 12-4, but it doesn't feel like a 12-4 game. Red team took mid tower off that whole series of exchange. Seems like blue teams panicked a little bit when their bot lane got dove and they threw way too many bodies down there without regard for the laning and wave positions in the other lanes. And now they want to kill this tower against backdoor armor. Backdoor armor is a thing. Volibear doesn't die but comes pretty close. They are going to answer one tower back, get themselves back on the board on tower counts. That's a might be a top tower falling as well. Nope, just kidding. Malphite just walks away from the Nasus casually. I mean, you got enough armor to tank him out. He's barely doing anything. Just slap the ground and just keep walking away. This Nasus really loves committing all ghosts before he's even in any sort of tangible threat.
Hey, I see he built Bramble Vest this time.
Yeah, he first item Bramble. He's learning. He's actually built the correct items. You can always build Sunfires later, but you need that tier 2 boost and you need that Bramble Vest. Now, meanwhile, Nasus is building all sorts of wrong. Wrong as in like poorly timed items. You don't need Glacial Shroud as your second component. You need a lot more than that. Aphelios is just going to casually die to the soil. And Alistar going to body block for him, but also doing his wake at the same time because the Aphelios just dies to the soil. Meanwhile, top lane, Woodir's coming up for gank number 3, Electric Boogaloo 2. Malphite is gonna ult away. And he's safe and sound for now. Woodir immediately responds by dropping the Herald, but that is fine, because when you commit Herald top, you lose the dragon. Blue team gets that tower, like loses the tower but gets the dragon in return. And Woodir is really doing a whole lot of nothing. Neeko so far still super fed. Second item Zion's, third item Oblivion Orb, which is correct for this game. Those are the exact items you want against this team comp. But now you start asking to yourself, we have a fed mid laner, can we make any proactive plays? Because it's really silly to have a fed mid laner, but at the same time be down in the mid lane tower. Neeko has a lot of siege potential in that if anyone tries to guard the tower, they can just die. So they have to be very careful here. And now red team is opting to play ARAM in order to guard this tower, anticipating a push that blue team may or may not even do. Aphelios lands the cannon shot, gets the root, and that's going to expend the last of his cannon ammo. He switches to oh, the display is broken. Huh. He's got cannon flamethrower. Interesting. No wait, that's sniper. He's got cannon sniper. The flamethrower on his back really looks like the sniper. Cannon sniper is not the best combination of guns for an Aphelios. Wait, no, that's not cannon. That's not sniper. That's infernum. That's the flamethrower. Okay, never mind. That is a pretty good combo. Aphelios gun displays are broken on spectate mode. Who knew? And Malphite coming up to play with the Nasus some more. I mean, yeah, there is a danger where, yeah, we can leave the if we leave the Nasus unchecked, he may ostensibly end the game just by one super fast push. But at the same time, red team is not content on just letting this Nasus stack up because they're just leaving him to the wolves. Blue team is going for a dive. Volibear turns off the tower. Flash stun for the pounce. There's the unstoppable force committed as well. That's a scary amount of summoners expended for him. Are you sure you want to leave it there? Because you need to do a lot more. Neeko flashes in, but that's going to be a very, very dead Neeko. Who's going to get the shutdown money? The answer is the Aphelios. 1,000 gold goes over to him. Disaster strikes blue team in the mid lane. But at the same time, having committed so much up top, they really need to make that push keep going. Assistance pings are coming out, but they've left their 2 tanks up there. This is going to be a very slow tower take. It's not going to happen. Red team sends Mr. Big Mac up top. I mean, it's 14-5. But how are they getting out pushed? It seems like every reaction has to be a snap reaction. Every reaction has to be, oh no, we need to make a play. Let's all go. Which is not the best way to do things. Meanwhile, the Udyr going to work on this ward. He's doing his best. I haven't seen him on the map much, and every time I have seen him, it's just total disaster. But he's doing his best. Yasuo gonna flash away. There's no mini waves to dash through. He is going to light the Volibear on fire. That's enough to scare him off. Even though I don't think the Volibear dies to him 1v1. Actually, he might die. There's shield bow. Yasuo ignites for still essentially no reason. Now Mr. Big Mac committing for a play. He's gonna get the stun up, but Aphelios has been left to the wolves because this Alistar used his entire combo to engage instead of peel. He's gonna be locked up here. Neeko tosses one more Q forward. Deadly Flourish comes out from behind. Roots up the Udyr. Nothing's gonna happen here. Ocean Drake is up in 40 seconds. It's 15-5. But also the gold is tied. That seems unforgivable. Because nobody knows how to deal with a split push Nasus. I mean, the way to deal with a split push Nasus, quite simple on paper. You just don't throw more bodies into anything more than the enemy is willing to commit. The enemy wants to make as much space around the map as humanly possible, and once they have the space made, it's up to blue team to respond. Nasus is gonna get caught out here. He does the one thing he's not supposed to do, which is leave, and he's gonna be killed off here. Almost kills the Neeko in return, actually, but still, it masks the fact that he's quite useless. He does damage, sure, but that's not.
No, this is gonna be a 4v4.
He's quite useless this game. You might think like, oh my god, he almost two-shot the Nico. He must be strong. He's not. It's an illusion. It betrays how strong he actually is, which is not very. Now blue team does secure the third Drake. One more puts them with Ocean Soul. But the funny part about Ocean Soul is you can't really make good use of Ocean Soul if you're dead. Or if your base is dead. If they push down your base, you can't really afford to teamfight them anymore. And they can play Rat. They can just keep sending the Nasus down to a lane. Now, obviously, in that fight there, Nasus did the exact thing he's not supposed to do, which is not push. Now they're throwing a lot of buddies up here. So this is where the Nasus should really be bottom lane. Because they've actually had a lot of success splitting blue team apart. I mean, success is relative because they're down 11 kills, but also success is in the fact that their gold lead is still tied. Blue team has no visible gold lead at this stage in the game, which really shouldn't be the case. They have red team has +2 towers, mostly because they just had a Nasus push a lane. Nobody responded. Now the Dark Binding is going to come out. It hits the Nasus. But for some reason, this Nasus always wants to bring some friends with him. Now, can you force an engage here? Because if you have visibility of Nasus, you know that they cannot split push. If they can't split push, they're ripe for the picking. Because individually, they are quite weak. If you force this engage, they all die. The lead on blue team is not reflected in gold, but in the level lead. And when I say level lead, I mean that they are actually down in levels, but red team is playing bad enough that you can just subtract 2 from all their level counts. There's a level 15 Yasuo. Now their level 15 Malphite joins the fight. Okay, so now your level leads are even. But can you pull the trigger? The answer is no, because Malphite walks away. If you have Flash All, you can try something there. You don't have to do this. You don't need to go for these plays. You could... Honestly, the best way is to catch them in their rotations, because red team has to respond when you attack the Nasus. You can just catch them out in the rotation. Yasuo was the slowest QSS of all time. Dark Binding was essentially already over.
I'm surprised they didn't engage because Aphelios is not in the fight.
I'm surprised they haven't engaged ever. You have the engage comp of your dreams, but why is nobody pulling the trigger?
No, yeah, Aphelios is not coming now. He's here.
Why is nobody pulling the trigger? You have 3 engages! But instead, they're letting these rotations happen for free. I mean, sure, blue team is winning this siege slowly. It's a war of attrition. They seem to want this. They seem to want to play this game out until Ocean Soul. Which, it doesn't need to be this way, because every dragon fight is perpetually coin flippy when you have a Nasus in the side lanes. You either have to attack him, or you take a 50-50 at the pit. And because this game is stalled out so long, Yasuo has 290 farm. I don't know, it's... The amount of gold Nico, I don't know their gold counts. I'm gonna hit X and I'm gonna be very surprised if Yasuo's super behind, because I don't think he is anymore. And yeah, he's ahead of Nico. Exactly as like I'm not even surprised that that's happened, because it's the consequence of stalling the game out when you have the engage. They are gonna catch the Aphelios. It's a very effortless catch. But you can't play like this when you have engage. The perpetual fear of a split pushing Nasus should not cause you to be paralyzed by it. It should just make you play more proactively. So you force the Nasus to either slowly push his way in, or you force him to abandon his split.
I actually think Malphite can slap the Nasus. Nasus has no mana.
Yep, you can win this fight, Nasus. You can win this fight, Malphite. You can just turn around and fight him. You can just turn around and fight him. You can just turn around. Oh my. Okay, now you can't turn around and fight him. You let him Q you too many times.
Yeah, considering Nasus had no mana too, I'm like, we definitely win that fight.
Now Nico is gonna come in. She's gonna force this. Yasuo's gonna flash out. Windwall saves the Big Mac. Now Udyr is rooted up. Now he has to walk away. But the entirety of blue team left the Drake pit. Nasus has to be forced to recall. He's out of mana. But did he take blue buff? Hold up. Where is he? He didn't take blue buff. Blue buff wasn't up. Okay. Now Aphelios is going to go in for a very strange chakram play. Not gonna hit it. And this gun displays are throwing me off. He has chakram sniper, not pistol sniper. And this Aphelios should have died right there. But everybody everyone was just so intent on recalling they didn't pay attention. And now Nico is gonna get caught out mid. Oh, the defensive Pop Blossom. Big Mac whiffs his Pulverize, but it doesn't matter. Too many people dogpiling on the Nico. The whole team reset, so the Nico should not have been there. And red team says, alright, let's Baron. Their only Fed member is gone. Well, that's not even true, because they still have other Fed members, but nobody does damage right now. And I swear if they give up this Baron, I will be very, very mad. They're not going to give up this Baron. Well, also, Malphite needs to press R. Just press R on the clump. I mean, I know you have it, because you haven't used it in 15 minutes. There it is! Press R!
Press R! Press R! Press R!
Do it!
Press R! No!
No, don't start Baron! Why'd you slap the Baron?
Where, yo, is everyone's R keys broken or something? Like,
you could even press R there. That's an infinitely worse engage, but it still might have been okay. It's 17-6. You have Ocean Soul. You don't need to be timid. Fight. 3 engages.
You know, fighters here. No fighting in this game.
I'm mad because I'm bored.
Yeah, me too.
That's the best way I can put it.
Me too, because I'm just like, for the past 15 minutes, there's been no...
I'm not upset because the game is slow, because I expect slower paced games, but I'm mad. I'm mad because it's boring.
Yo, Yasuo has 100 CS on top of Nico now.
Yeah, he has basically Flame Horizon, but that's the consequence of just letting him farm.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't like you gotta pull the trigger.
Just pull the trigger. Do it! There's the engage! It's happening! Pop Blossom goes down! Udyr dies! Finally, Big Mac gets turned into burgers for the 5th time! And that's gonna be 2 bodies! Nasus is forced to recall! Alright, what's the call? The call is Baron. Excellent. That's the correct call. They are going to start this objective.
Oh, no one took the blast cone. It's okay.
What? I'm sorry, did he flash for the blast cone?
I lied, don't take the blast cone! Don't take the blast cone!
I guess this game is... I guess the game has been inactive enough that you could do that and not get punished, but at the same time, that's the most expensive flash cone... that's the most expensive blast cone that I've ever seen.
Me? Hey, no one took the blast cone. A second later, oh, okay, never mind, someone did.
Never mind, don't do that to stop the blast cone.
But then, like I said, they have good vision on Baron, so they don't...
Yeah, it is. Like, honestly, Blue Team has always had... Blue Team always has very, very impressive vision control. Always. But if you have the information, just do something with it. Like...
Yeah, Nasus just TP'd bot, so I don't think they were going to test Baron anyway, so that you didn't...
Yep. Well, the thing is, we're now at the stage in the game where one team had 3 engages. I keep beating that point. I keep beating that dead horse, but they have 3 engages and now Baron. So really, you don't have impetus to split. You don't need to split. You have teleport, so you could, but you don't have to. You could just deathball this comp. You could all press R and walk in, and they die. And
I don't know why. Malphite, stop being a coward! Fight it!
Red team's turret has been
You have Ocean Soul. You can fight it, Nasus.
Nasus is actually just draining his mana on completely useless stacks, because he's no longer in the position where he can hit structures. When one team has Baron buff, Nasus cannot push. Ever.
Yes, fight him! Fight him!
Just walk into him! Stop farming!
Fight him!
Stop farming! Walk into him! You can tower dive him, for God's sakes! You have a billion armor, you're not gonna die to it! Okay, ground slam. Okay, Nasus has no mana. You have Ocean Soul.
Just fight him! Just dive him! Just use your ult, I don't care!
You can actually solo out the Nasus and kill him, and it'd be a worthwhile use of your ultimate.
Yeah, because
Okay,
you're
once again,
pushing.
actually, this push took so long. There's 4 Baron Cannon minions! What the heck? There's 4 Baron Cannon. I don't think I've ever seen that. What? Look at all these cannons! What the heck is this? How are there that many cannons? Oh my god, it's like a firing squad on that poor tower. Well, okay. I guess blue team wins the game, I guess. Malphite ults on the one guy, the tower gets turned off. Nico Pop Blossom! Massive hits! Connects the stun! Everybody melts! It's over! Blue team wins it! They did it! Mr. Big Mac calls the well played! He's the worst Alistar I've ever seen in my life. And that's it. That's game 2.
Oh my god.
I usually
only game 2. My heart can't take any more of this.
yeah, I'm gonna die of natural causes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying, pull the freaking trigger.
So this is usually where I wanna pull up the replay and analyze it, but there's nothing to
There's
analyze.
nothing to analyze that game. We don't need to
Well,
analyze that
there
game.
are things to analyze, which is like might as well because they're setting up for the next game
Yeah.
anyway. But there are things to talk about in the concept of missed windows. Because if I had a dime for every window that an engaged window was missed, I would pay off all my debts already. So let's take a look at some of these moments. I think some of these moments can still be somewhat interesting to talk about. I didn't make any mental notes because at some points my mind just departed from my body after watching this
We
game.
all were like, push the button, push R.
But this is this is a super interesting timeline because look at this. From 26 minutes to 30, a whole 4 minutes, 1 tower died. That was it.
No, you have to count the kills. You have to count the kills.
Yeah, there's 1 kill. Actually, hold on. From 26 minutes to 34, a solid 8 minutes, an engaged comp picked up 1 kill onto an Aphelios as a cash here. So I'm interested in how all of that happened. So a lot of these games come down to, I think a lot of it comes down to, oh no, Nasus can split push, because a lot of it happened when this tower died here. When you lose this tower, you live in constant fear that what if Nasus ends the game? The answer to that is simple. You just take Baron, and if you take Baron, nobody can split push you. Baron is designed to shut down split push. It gives you double speed recalls. It makes you base faster. It makes you leave base faster. And it makes your minions impossible to kill by autos.
I also think the Nasus was strong. Not Nasus, the Malphite was strong enough.
Yeah, I genuinely think all those times where you see like a dog chasing down the rock could just turn and kill the Nasus, and then he would have been dead. When you have Ocean Soul, you regen health and mana by damaging enemies. So really, the Malphite can never run out of mana in that circumstance. He would just be totally fine. And I mean, honestly, look at these sequence of events. It's so slow. Because there's one thing between like slow games and there's another thing with not pulling the trigger. Because right here, like actually I'll even rewind a few seconds. Right here.
You know they're like all standing.
Yeah.
Like right here, you get.
Right here, press R, jump them. Right here, press R, walk into them.
Malphite was coming down anyway.
Right. Malphite's here. Flash, alt. That's a worthy target you can kill. Right here, like you have vision. Alt, alt.
Press the R key.
All right, kill the word. Don't leave. You can team fight. Don't leave. If you were standing here, flash, alt. You would have seen this clump. It seems like there's a constant desire to retreat because... So here's the other thing. The thought process here is, hey, Nasus went top. Let's go back and match him. But you don't have to. Your value is in the fact that you can engage a team fight. So you don't need to back off from a team fight. If you see the clump here, fight the clump. Contesting the Nasus right now does nothing. He's farming here. It's gonna take him like a solid minute to work his way there. Just leave him. But let's say we commit to this alternative plan. Let's say, okay, he's up top. Let's fight him. The alternative thing you need to do here is bring more than one person. If you want to fight the Nasus, you want to dive him, everybody go. And you don't need to all show. The rest of your team can camp in here, because as soon as somebody shows top, it's going to force a rotation. And the rotation is actually exactly what was forced here. They see two people top, and now everybody panics. They're walking in. But imagine if there were people camping here. That's so many dead bodies.
No, they stare at each other and walk away again.
Yeah, but you can't just look at each other and walk away. And even here, team fight breaks out. Alt this.
Yeah.
Alt this. Alt this. Alt this.
Athelios is bot. I don't see why they
There's this guy here. Alt this. But no, the team fight breaks off yet again. There's nobody pulls the trigger. And the onus to alt is not on Malphite. Anybody can press R. This is a press R comp. Curtain call would have been a good start to the fight. Somebody needs to press R. It doesn't need to be the Malphite. You don't even need comms to do it, because in comms people get cold feet. People are like, no, I can't. But you can just go. You don't need to tell people to go. You can force people to be like, oh crap, they went. And you can start a team fight like that. It's a valid way to start it. Because sometimes when you see people out of position, it's really for the briefest of moments, and you don't have time to say, hey, they're out of position, can I engage? And then wait for feedback, because by the time you get that feedback, the window's already closed. Just, if you see it, you just have to go. The games are won or lost based off tiny, instantaneous decisions, and if you have to bounce that decision off people all the time, you will never, ever have a decisive moment. And one more thing I want to look at, actually, is when's the last time Nico seriously popped off? So this is around the time when Nico had 5 kills. Okay, this is good enough. I want to see this goal differential. So Nico's 1,000 ahead of the Yasuo. Constantly 1,000 ahead. So let's jump to the dragon fight here. The goal leads not as much. And then let's jump to the point where the game really stalls out. Yeah, actually, back here. Yasuo is essentially even because his scoreline is stagnating. Nobody's punishing him. And he's just farming faster. And you can kind of see in real time him catching up the goal to Nico. And it'd be a travesty for like an 0-3 Yasuo to be just as rich as a 7-0 Nico, doesn't it? Because this is where like you have to seriously play around your strong member. Nico gets caught out here and dies. And this is when Yasuo overtakes her in gold. And actually, around even when the game ended, I think Yasuo was really ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Yasuo was.
No, well, all those tower had gold help, but yeah, even here, as the game was about to end,
like
Yasuo was
2 minutes, yeah, 2 minutes. Like,
by the way, this guy's scoreline, what the heck? It didn't change. He got 1 assist.
No, he got a bounty though because of all his CSing.
Yeah, he's AFK. He's an AFK player, vacuuming up minions. It's like Kirby inhaling a plate, like a table full of food. But he's never... He shouldn't be this close in gold, just because nobody cared about him. It's a sign that the game wasn't proactive. And it becomes a very slow going game, and then I don't think blue team was in danger of losing the game. But at the same time,
There could have been one faster.
there exists an objective in this game that is the ultimate equalizer, and that's Elder Drake. If you 50-50 long enough, eventually you're gonna lose the coin flip, and they're gonna get Elder and win. It punishes stalling out games, and any game can technically be comebackable if you always have a way into the Elder Pit. And honestly, up until this final moment, Red Team always had a ticket into the Elder Pit. So it's a terrifying prospect to be like, despite how far ahead on paper you should have been, the game might not have been. The game might still be over, not in your favor. But anyway, game 3. Let's get into it. We're staring now at the final decisive game. Team HEE, they changed their goddamn team name every clash, is on the verge of taking first place, but will they be stopped? There are some terrifying picks here. They have a support.
Sion? Anivia?
Support.
I think it's Anivia.
Was it Jin? It might be Sion support.
I think it's
Sion
Sion
top. No, it's
I
Sion
think so.
top.
No, I think it's Victor top, Anivia mid, Sion support.
No, I think it's...
No. I say Anivia top, Victor mid, Sion support.
I say... Wait, I say...
I'm
Sion
so
top.
confused.
Say Anivia support.
I think it's Anivia support. Yeah, like if you look at the pictures he sent, Anivia supporting for 2 games in a row.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
Oh my god, this guy's trolling.
yeah, I told you, Anivia support, Silent
Wait,
Talk.
this is-
Anivia support can be quite annoying.
It is, but this
Anivia
Anivia
support
also
has
is
incredible
she's a
pressure.
support with 13% gold share. That's nothing.
If they're good, they can wall the Nautilus engage.
Ooh, yeah.
Ah, yes. Well,
Wait, Logan, did you see my comment about the TP?
yes, you did. Sorry, I did see it. Yeah, he could have just walked. I agree with that. But at the same time, he turned around.
Yeah, he walked back up and I was like, what?
I didn't realize he turned around. So I was like saying you had a TP. Because when I was casting it, I didn't realize Malphite turned around back to top. Because he had the most delayed TP of all time. So it's like, there's no way he could. They're like, I just assumed he was walking down. For some reason, got tripped up.
Same.
But I didn't realize he turned around, so like, you should have TP'd. And then I was like, oh, he could have walked. And then I realized why he really should have TP'd, and that's what, the reason being he walked top when red team engaged at Dragon. But anyway, well, we will go ahead and start casting the final game of Tier 4 Clash. It's actually, despite everything, it's been a pretty fun day. Mostly because...
The first game was fun. The second game was kind of Resident Sleeper.
Well, even the second game, which I ragged on too much for being really boring, even the second game, I'm pretty happy to see because the boys are winning. I'm always happy to cheer on. I'm always happy to cheer on the home team, and when they win, I'm happy to cast it.
Despite the Resident Sleeper, it was
a boring game, but you won, so I can't be upset about it because obviously the people I'm cheering for won. And the bias kicks in here for the casters, but now they're in their final deciding game, so we'll see who wins. Wait, hold on. These are really familiar summoner names. Mr. Poppy Sion? I feel like I've seen that name somewhere before. Is it in the previous Clash? Is this a rematch? It can't be, right?
Your mom?
I don't know. Like, Gaming Phobic 5 and Mr. Poppy Sion. This might be a serious random deja vu, but I feel like I've seen these names before.
But then I don't think you've seen
I don't think this is a Clash rematch. I think I would have definitely remembered that, but... Granted, I also don't pay too much attention to summoner names. It took me like a minute to notice 420 Big Max 69. And I only noticed it when he died.
It was not from yesterday.
Yeah, okay. Then it might just be me tripping out then. Anyway, let's get into it. The matchups are as thus. It is Anivia support, Victor mid, Sion top, Jin ADC. Versus Cho'Gath top, Cassidy mid, Silver Nautilus bottom lane with a Rammus jungle. Seems good. Alright, let's get into it. So already, we're going to have a ward, early ward. Ivern can always go for a cheeky triple buff, and the best way to stop that is to have your top laner drop a ward on your own red buff. So let's see if they have their top laner drop a ward on their own red buff. It doesn't necessarily mean you can stop the Ivern from triple buffing you, but it gives you information. It tells you what the Scion, it tells you what the Ivern is planning to do. So the I guess somewhat cheese, but also surprisingly standard route is to grove both your buffs and then just walk to the enemy, grove their buffs, smite it away, and you triple buff your enemy. Ivern can get away with doing that. He also dropped a word over the wall. Is he planning for this? Hold up. So red team, I don't think they saw him. That vision range is small. So the blue ward spots out the Cassidy leaving. Nobody worded this. That's dangerous. That's very, very dangerous. Alright, let's go back to laning. So Scion, not the strongest laner. Ever since they nerfed his E 4 years ago, he hasn't necessarily been a dominant force in lane. And yep, there's the triple buff. This is why you word it. This is like simultaneously the jungler and the top laner's fault. The jungler should really have the heads up play to be like, hey, it's an Ivern, word my red. Because he will go for that if you don't punish him for it. But he did get spotted on his way out, I believe, so now they know that he's holding on to the red buff. That's going to be a triple buff start here for the Ivern. As the Rammus goes for a balls to the wall play and steal their red, which is a super terrible play, don't do it. But like I said, Scion used to be a really strong laner 4 years ago, then they nerfed his E, and now he loses pretty much every matchup known to man. But he's Scion, he's a good weak side champ.
Yeah, but like I said.
Yeah. Sion's a good weak side champ. You lose every matchup, like you lose almost every matchup, but it doesn't matter because you're Scion.
Yeah, you're gonna get 9k.
He's the antithesis of what a tank is supposed to be.
Yep.
He absorbs pressure because he's easy to kill. It's almost backwards in a way, and there's a Cho'Gath. I mean, he could have flashed for that kill, but honestly, the correct play was to not, because the zombie could have easily killed him. If he flashes there, he's trolling. Oh wait, Rammus is going for this play. But what's the Ivern doing? He's got so little health. He is going to smite away the camp. Ooh, Rammus should have gone for the taunt and just killed off the Ivern right there.
That's a smite diff.
Yeah, but honestly, Ivern's smite is always a diff because he kills the grove no matter regardless. Oh, first blood, solo kill goes over to the Cho'Gath. I would be impressed, but it's a Scion. And there's the Ivern muscling the Rammus away. The Cassidy says he'll have none of it. He's coming in to make sure Rammus secures the crab. He's flashed over the wall.
Yeah, Ivern flash.
Ivern panic flashes over the wall, but
I don't think Cassidy could have killed him, but
blue team is honestly like the perfect mix of try hard and I don't care. Like Scion and Ivern are just so off-putting as champions in terms of theme. And then you have Victor looking to delete people like a tryhard. Now, I don't actually quite understand the Victor versus Cassidy matchup. I've never played it. I don't even know who's supposed to win. I think Victor is quite a bit stronger.
I think so. If he creates more pressure, he creates a lot of pressure.
Yeah, but Cassidy is also out farming him.
Yeah, that's why I'm like him. It's kind of weird though, because
I mean, for a champion with a literal laser that erases minions, you think that Cassidy will have a harder time. But no, he's actually doing great. Victor's out of mana. He's got one corrupting charge left to him. And Cassidy's he's had a pretty easy time here. He's farming up with now too much pressure.
But also I think it's because like Victor uses a lot of mana early game.
Yeah, but also he runs Time Warp, doesn't he? He doesn't run Time Warp. He runs Insight.
Oh yeah, for the cookie.
Fuck you, Andy.
What the heck was that about?
No, you. You fucking got.
Oh, I see. You guys are arguing about something in chat. Alright, back to the cast. Alright, 5 minutes in. Cho'Gath is level 5. He could have eaten the zombie right there. Oh, there's a wall! Cutting off the Nautilus. That's going to force out a flash. And then we have to be pretty careful! Nautilus could have turned around and hooked her in. Unless Nautilus didn't have hook. Maybe.
What game is this?
This is game
What
3.
game?
They are...
Is this finals?
Yes,
Yeah,
they are 2-0.
We are final.
Shit.
Alright, Cho'Gath is hit level 6. But Cho'Gath's passive gives him mana back, but you kind of have to hit minions to get mana back.
Yeah, kill the minions. Oh,
And Victor has lost the level 6 arms race to the Kassadin, so he's gonna tank a bunch of damage. He's still out of mana. Every time I look at him, Victor has no mana bar. And this one pathetic wall trying to cut them off. Nautilus casually walks around it.
Yo, minions. Max the wall. Put a point in wall.
And Ivern is gonna come in to mop up the mess, which means Victor should really recall. Why is he not going back? Just get some mana back! Mate! Wait, you need mana! You're gonna lose all those minions without any mana. Ivern even did you a favor, he was covering lane for you. Now Cho'Gath still super out of mana. All these people without mana needs to go back. You're not forcing a play here. You can't nom him, you can't do anything. If Ivern comes up top, you're dead. You're also just free tanking decimating blows, and now your HP is equal. Just recall.
Wait, can I see what Cho'Gath is maxing?
Cho'Gath is maxing E. That's the correct max.
Yes.
Also, don't face tank that! Oh my god! If you can't interrupt it, don't fight him. Just recall. You can't kill him from here.
That is definitely the correct max. I was just checking.
Alright, there we go. Flash Nom. That was his play all along. He was going to naturally regen 100 mana and go for a Flash Nom. And somehow works. It's so dumb, but it works, so it's not dumb. There's a Chaos Storm committed. Victor backed, so he's got the mana, but Death's Ray does not have the follow-up explosion yet. Wait, hold up. Wait, Ivern's just gonna kidnap the Scuttle? Wait. What is this? Alright, there's the smite away. Ram is just gonna roll away. Ivern first items the Moby Boots. So if you first item the Moby Boots, I expect to see a lot of ganks. A lot of roam. But so far, this Ivern hasn't been on camera that much. He's going to grow up a single wolf, losing like 160 health to do so. Now we're at 8 minutes.
What is, he can't just leave the camp because he has to respond.
I mean, you could just give it to Victor. And now another trace coming out, but it seems like Cho'Gath is wholly unconcerned with farming the wave. Instead, going for a trade against the Scion. Scion's gonna tank a tower shot. The Rift Walk onto the Victor, doing a ton of damage to him. It's actually in solo kill range, but unfortunately Kassadin has no flash. And these interrupts are very late, which means Cho'Gath doesn't win these trades. If you face tank Q after Q after Q, Scion can kill you.
And this
Case in point, Scion can kill you. No way, he can't! Oh my god, he's boosted! And now he's zombie form, knocked out by the rupture. The tower's gonna turn his focus to him as well. Oh! I mean, that should have been the Scion kill, but he flubbed it. And the Anivia's gonna get grabbed in as well. Silver flashing forward for a boomerang blade. Eggs up the Anivia, and she is not out of tower range. Are you gonna lose the fight to Egg? Oh my god, the Egg wins the fight! Oh!
At least she got executed.
At least that was an execute. It wasn't quite dying to a vending machine, but it was also yet another kill claimed by an Egg. They didn't give money, but it's still a kill. So far, kill scored 0-4 because dying to an Egg doesn't count.
And apparently Scion can't.
Yeah, also Scion just doesn't know how to press keys, but Scion is out farming the Cho'Gath. Is that the Cho'Gath seems to be more concerned with finding the Scion than finding the minions. Cass is going to teleport in onto the gravity well, gets froze up for a bit. It's all fine and dandy for him. He's still heavily ahead in CS so far in this matchup. He's pretty comfortable farming so far. He can do whatever he wants. And honestly, Victor is in a pretty weak position. Decimating Smash charges up in the brush, catches up this Cho'Gath unawares, but Cho'Gath is also 2 levels up on the Scion with equal CS, which just tells you how bad the Scion is, really. Meanwhile, Nivea might get caught out here again. This time she doesn't have the Egg. No more embarrassment here. Flash hook denies the Nivea her escape. Taunt follow-up. The CC is there, and she is killed off. And 10 minutes in, Red Team is off to a really great start here in Games 3. They have the gold lead with the kill lead for once. And now they're gonna turn their sights onto the dragon. Mountain Drake will go to them. They are committing 4 people for this, which seems a little bit excessive, but a secure is a secure nonetheless. Meanwhile, Cho'Gath is still just dueling the Sion up top. These fights have no right to be as close as they are. And there is the Jhin. He might be screwed. The rolling dive comes in from the Rammus. And there is a control as well. Jhin needs 4 shot onto the Rammus. He's not gonna get it off. Also, is it called rolling dive? I just guessed. Soaring slam, whatever. Rolling dive sounds better. I think rolling dive is a skill from Dota or something. Oh,
I like how...
Yeah.
Oh, there's another fight breaking out.
In the meantime, they are gonna bully the Cho'Gath up top. So he gets...
I was gonna say, I like how the Jhin decide to stay alone in lane up there.
Yeah, when you just know the dragons died.
And you just... And if you
if you hear the game announcer says dragons died, leave bot. If you hear the game announcer say Herald died, leave top. It's the standard plays. Now Sion, he doesn't get the kill. Victor got the kill, but he's still ahead in CS just because Sion farms a bit easier. No, he doesn't. Cho'Gath just doesn't bother farming. But at the same time, Cho'Gath's working on his Bombies. He's just blanket building first item Bombies and everything, even though Sion can't sustain. Oh, that's a tragedy. Doesn't quite get the kill onto the Victor. Gravity Well freezes. Gravity Well lockup is not a joke. It will punish you if you go for those aggressive plays, and it does punish the Kassadin. Victor gets his 2nd kill. I think gold-wise, yeah, he's properly caught up now to the Kassadin. The CS deficit is not enough to make up for it. Oh, this is insult to injury. Dropping the Herald as well. It's gonna bring this tower to 1 plate. No less than that. They can't kill the tower from here. Rammus is gonna come in.
Plates turn. So what a greedy ass.
Yeah, doesn't even give gold to the Victor. But it doesn't matter because Victor actually beat the Kassadin to the Mythic now. With those 2 kills.
True.
So he's got the Liandry's. Liandry's, by the way.
But yeah.
Not Luden's, Liandry's. It's valid, just I don't like it as much. Rupture will miss. Cho'Gath is just gonna slowly walk away from the scene.
I think this is a Leandri's game. Look how tanky.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. Like, I don't mind the Liandry's. Also, even Anivia seems to be working on Liandry's. That could still be Everfrost, but...
Nah, Liandry's is better.
Liandry's would be best for the support Anivia this game. Although, checking this Anivia's past matches in Clash, he's got very low gold share. He's got like 13-17% of their team's gold. You probably can't justify Liandry's on that low of a budget. Unless your team was just so ahead that 13% was actually so massive.
Yeah, usually you still get... Yeah, Liandry's is the ideal.
There's a knockoff fest going on in top lane. And Cho'Gath has to flash away from the last decimating slam. But is he safe? The answer is no. He could keep walking, but what's the fun in that? He'll just stay and die to the Victor instead. Once again, 3-man in the top lane. So what is Red Team's response? Red Team's response is to siege mid. But here the plays are falling, which means that this tower is about to lose a whole hell of a lot of tankiness. It won't die because blue team has ran out of minions. But it seems like that was an unpunished 3-man dive top. Red team response to it was nothing, and blue team are pulling back their gold lead. This is looking hairy. Nautilus squeezes by the crane he created by the wall and actually walks away.
I feel like if you're supporting Nivea, you should put 1 wall. Like 1 point in wall. If you're support.
Yeah, you can even max wall.
Yeah, I was like,
Nivea.
if that wall was long
Crystallize enough, Crystallize is a bonkers ability if you max it. The thing is, it never needs to do damage. Not if you're support. You can actually get away with maxing Crystallize and actually use to trap people. That is gonna be a counter kill up top. Rammus will be the one to grab it. They did commit the Kassadin up here. I wonder why. Because Kassadin is much better suited off still farming. He needs to hit level 16. This is a level 16 dependent champion. As much solo time as possible would be ideal. Bot lane is still just a farm fest. The Sivir is perpetually slightly ahead of the Jhin, so they're happy to continue doing so. There is a small problem building up for them right now though, and might balloon into a bigger one if given enough time. The Victor is getting up there. He's got Mythic boost done. And that's actually a big enough power spike that he's quite strong. He is probably the strongest champion in the game and at the present moment. And if he were to utilize his lead and start making not just top lane but bot lane's life absolutely miserable, then objectives are going to start rolling their way. A lot of things are going to go their way. And they can win the game off him. He's a valid win condition at this stage in the game. In top lane, still a noodle fight as always. Blue team will claim the first tower. It is mid. And this seems to be a consistent trend that red team, well this game's red team at least, I don't think they've ever gotten the Herald. There used to be a meta where it's 8 minutes in, the jungler plays topside in hopes of grabbing the Herald. But it seems like they just don't do that.
A hot take, red team does not realize that Herald is worth more than the first 2 Drakes. Hot take.
That's true. Herald is worth way more than the first 2 Drakes. The first 2 Drakes, honestly doesn't matter who gets them. It matters. It matters. The thing that matters about Drakes is not who gets the first 2. It's who has map control after the first 2. There seems to be a team fight breaking out. Depth charge comes in. It's gonna knock up 4. And here comes the Kassadin. He's alone in the back line. Nobody's helping him. He's been rooted up. Buffering the Rift Fox through. Soaring Slam comes down. There's no CC. They're just tag teaming who's tanking but not contributing damage in the back. Boomerang Blade comes through. Red team loses that fight because they seem to think that team fighting in League of Legends is a tag team deathmatch. Jin's gonna open up a curtain call. The bullets are going to find one person at least. Victor picks up his 4th kill. He's got all of the kills for blue team here. Unless Sion picks up one here. Nope, fat chance.
Back in the fight.
When Everfrost comes down, it's gonna egg up the Anivia. The Jin is super low. The dragon's still breathing on him. Nobody's killing the egg? Okay, there you go. One more hit finishes off the egg. Cassin's left alone in a 1v3. Hop into that brush! What's the Iron doing? Oh my god, you're not bulletproof in the brush, man! And he just dies.
The Iron is trolling.
You're not bulletproof in your own brush, get out! What are you hoping to accomplish? And it seems that red team says, alright, this is our dragon now, except they didn't sweep the pit. They didn't sweep the pit.
It's okay.
This is in full vision of the enemy team.
Okay, the enemy team can't do anything about it.
Yeah, they reset, but still, it's poor practice, but it's not punished poor practice.
Yeah, you can't blame them. Like, everyone just laughed anyway. So.
No, I don't blame them for these plays. Not like, it's not flame per se. It's more so like pointing out the suboptimal in hopefully as constructive as a manner as possible. I spare no mercy for the enemy team that I have no emotional attachment to. Like, here, what's the Iron doing? Are you sure you want to do this for the Scuttle? Oh, he is sure. He's getting friends. The Scuttle regens 6 life, and he's gonna be safe from the Cho'Gath Nom. He has to flash over the wall. There's a Chaos Storm following him. The Unstoppable Scion charges in. One more take of the Chaos Storm finishes him. Unstoppable goes to the victor. He still has all the kills on blue team. And here comes the Kassadin over the wall, flanking down. Gravity Well wins the shield. It's not enough. Victor goes down. Shot down goes over to the Kassadin. That's a fatty amount of gold picked up. Ivern is next to drop. Now it's just a Scion. He's been converted to a glorified punching bag. And the Sivir is going to slowly work at his health. Ever so slowly. Someone needs to kill that Blast Cone. He's going to use the get out. Why is the Kassadin not denying the Blast Cone? But anyway, in the bot side, Jin and Anivia kills the tower. Depth charge, even though there's no follow-up. That's gonna force the Nautilus out, and Curtain Call comes down. Bullet 1 hits, Bullet 2 hits, and that's the end of that. Nautilus dies, Depth charge committed, Locket committed, tower lost.
Flash from the Jin.
Yeah, flash for flash, the Nautilus flash as well. But Jin's gonna get himself onto the board. Now Victor's not the only person doing something this game. And once again, blue team have the gold lead.
Sometimes I wonder how the previous team wins Clash. Because I'm like,
It's interesting because you look at their opponents like, how did you beat the guys before you?
I know, right?
How bad do they have to be?
That's what I was wondering, because I was like, how bad does the other team have to be?
How did you win your way here? Alright, well, Ivern. I mean, I have a theory. Like, it's just Ivern and Sion shutting off their brains with pure cringe, as the youngsters call it.
Okay, first game Anivia went Imperial Mandate.
Sure. Okay. Support.
And then she went Imperial Mandate again. Why is she going Leandri's this game?
Yeah, this game is like, I need to shred the tanks. I need to shred the tank. But
What?
the Anivia has such low gold shares in these games that I'm not sure if she's ever going to establish herself as a damage threat.
That sounds like, okay, the first 2 games...
Also, she has Electrocute. Like, it's not wrong because it's Anivia, but this Anivia does not get money, so she's going a full damage build with no money.
Okay, and the first game she also went Magi's, and she was 1-6, so I don't know what's wrong with her, but...
Yeah, she heard that Magi's was always an efficient item supports, but doesn't quite understand why.
Just like our famous Janus.
Meanwhile, Sion's about to solo kill a Kassadin. That's a thing. Alright, shutdown goes over to the Sion. I mean, Kassadin can't really disrespect the raw beef in the— Whoa, he summoned Daisy over the wall! Oh no! But the Rammus still might be dead, and Anivia just has to wall off the Rammus' retreat. Never mind, the Anivia's W button is broken, but this is still a terrible fight anyway. Sivir gets caught out, Nautilus is in the middle of it all, and he's been walled off with some retreat. Sivir has nowhere to run, she has to walk past the Victor, and he's not gonna let her live, and suddenly that's a lot of bodies dropped.
That was a Victor and Jin were fighting them in melee range.
Yeah, that was a very poorly coordinated team fight, and that's going to result in the death of many. 3 bodies for nothing, and blue team finds themselves a really good fight here. My goodness, this is actually looking really bad for red team. Once again, they have leads, but it doesn't seem like they know how to play with it. But then again, do they have leads when it seems like they've lost the gold lead for 10 minutes now? Oh, Cho'Gath. These ruptures are always predicting impossible locations for the enemies to reach. And Jin is twirling his pistol looking for a 4th bullet, but this 4th bullet will never come out. And once again, Cho'Gath is in a bit of a hairy situation. He got rooted by Iron Cube, but nobody right-clicked him, so nobody dashed in. Sion's next to go. The unstoppable onslaught, I think, crashes into the Cho'Gath, kills him off. Yeah. Sivir arrives to the scene, but once again, red team, it is their theme to be fashionably late to every engage.
They have to give this dragon to Captain.
And that's gonna be a surrendered Ocean Drake. I mean, they could still walk in. They could still walk into it. It would be.
I don't advise it, but okay.
I mean, at this point, I want them to try something. Because I know it's a terrible idea to walk in, but I kind of want them to do it because maybe they'll actually accidentally make a play that's good for them. It's the better alternative to making no plays.
True. Because from the past games we win it, somehow they win the fight.
Like they've always had such terrible fights, but they somehow win it.
But they somehow come on top.
Like, I almost want them to just force really bad situations because they're really good at getting themselves out of these situations, but they're not allowing themselves to be put into these situations. You have the tools to win, but they don't seem to realize it. When you hit key power spikes, when you have a caster that's sitting on 2 items and he needs to farm to 16, let him farm, and just let the rest of the team make picks. You have a Cho'Gath Rupture, you have Sivir. You don't need to always be like, all right, Sion, press R onto us. We're ready. We're gonna T-pose and let you come in. If you can make a pick, absolutely go for it. You have a Nautilus.
They also have Nautilus.
You have Nautilus. You have Rupture. You have a really caught Kassadin that should be farming to 16. Like, he should be top lane right now instead of there, because he's not gonna gain experience there. Jin's going to clear up the vision. And it's hard to get vision down in a game like this. Because if you have vision, but you're not proactive with the vision, you might as well have never placed any wards at all.
Man, Nivea is so poor. She's
so poor. Oh, even in
why
this
are you
game,
buying refillable Pokemon? Like, why are you buying refillable pot right now?
Even in this game, she's got the lowest gold share. I'm pretty sure. Let's see how much gold she. Yeah, she's broke.
Sure.
She is flat broke. Jesus. Those are luxury items. You don't buy Liandry's on a support budget unless you can seriously back it up, because you need the demonic follow-up, you need the Zion's follow-up, you also need the Morelos follow-up. It's not a cheap build, which is why Mandate would have been correct, because you don't have money. You don't have the money to justify all the items that make Liandry's really strong. Now it's 26 minutes in, and this is once again a very, very slow-paced game. But as more objectives start rolling in, there's going to be more things that force their hand. And I'm surprised all 10 players in this game do not even consider Baron on the table, but instead Jin's going to open up the curtain call. Cho'Gath is going to tank every bullet at full health. No problem at all. Curtain call does approximately 7 damage through 4 shots. Now Rammus, is he looking for a collapse? This is great, Powerball, never mind, he wants Scuttle. I seriously thought he was going to Powerball in. Oh, there it is. There's a Powerball, but unfortunately blue team may have peeled back a little bit too much already. Soaring Slam comes down. Ivern seems to be first on the chopping block. He does go down. The next engage comes down. Jin is dead as well. And Nivea is running for her life. And there's the Victor. He can turn with the damage. Nobody is focusing damage onto him. He's a little bit too far back. Sion slams into the backline as well. That's going to force red team to collapse back, kill the beefy tank. But there is a free hitting Victor. He has all of blue team's damage and he has gone unchecked so far. They need to turn with some damage. Who is recalling up there? Please don't recall. The fight is not over. The Victor's distracted. Come in and finish him off. No, just kidding. Half of red team commits, half of them leaves.
Reminds me of like the TL game where Jensen was doing all the damage and Alfari was being silent.
Oh my gosh.
This is the TL back, man.
That was such a split call. Half of red team went back. The other half was still fighting. Okay, I know the Kassadin had like 300 health. It doesn't matter. Victor blew all his cooldowns on the tank. Kill him! Well, what seemed to be a really good fight was actually a terrible. Whoa, what was that flash? Hold up! Hold up! What the heck? You can't do that to a Kassadin? What the heck?
This Ivern's crazy.
Oh my god, this guy is mad. There it is. Another engage comes down.
Crazy. What the fuck?
Oh my god, he's still here. Get out, Ivern. What are you accomplishing here? Ooh, actually, Victor is building the correct items. He's building the one thing that can protect him from red team, which is Banshees. He's working on it, and this is Dragon number 2. Ivern's put up the curtain and he's blanked out the red team frontal vision. The blue orb will spot it out. There's the teleport coming in at exactly the wrong angle. That TP is so far away. Are you kidding me? This is going to be a secure dragon here. Blue team secures it. And now the team fight breaks out. Jin is dead. Ivern is dead. And Nivea is dead. Victor's caught out in the pit. He's not far for the world as well. Now it's just a big beefy tank. Don't chase him. Let him go. Go kill Baron. Go kill Baron. Just let him go. No. Alright. They turn around for Baron.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Alright, they're gonna... Well, it's slow. They're not gonna get this. It might just push mid instead. This is so slow. No, never mind. They're going for it.
No, I think they're gonna go for it.
Like, honestly, red team does not have a Baron killing comp. They don't have sustained DPS onto this objective. And blue team's already respawned, so I don't know about this. And if you want to do this, you have to throw all 5 members. Every point of damage counts here. This is not the time to securing vision. This is time to rush down Baron and just recall. These wards are not going to do anything. You know they're running at you. The wards are just going to confirm what you already know. Everybody needs to get in this pit. Do as much damage as possible. You need to nuke this thing. This is not the time to turn. Sivir should not be splitting damage. There it is. The Baron's secure. Now they all need to get out. But I think they took too long. Ivern is going to be on the chopping block. That charge onto him. But nobody on red team is turning. They've been caught up in the bouncy house. Sivir is the first to drop. Now it's on full damage control mode. Cho'Gath sacrifices himself. He's the martyr to ensure everybody else gets to live. But will they all live? They draw 2 bodies for this Baron. Will it be worth it? The Baron recalls. Get them out safe and sound. Except the Nautilus? Oh, the Nautilus does not make it out. That's going to be a 3rd body onto the ground. So 2 people on blue team. Oh, sorry, 2 people on red team have the Baron. There's 2 Barons left. And that's a net negative play. They took way too long starting the Baron. They should not have tried to chase the Scion. They should have just ran up the Baron immediately. They should have just let him go. Spending those 10 extra seconds to kill the Scion killed them all. If they had 10 extra seconds, they all recall. And when the time took too long, they should have just all went mid. Kill the tower instead, because Baron was risky, and Baron was risky.
I'm actually surprised Jin did not go Collector.
Oh yeah, what the hell? Why does he not have Collector? I saw a blue item, I just assumed that was Collector. That's Storm Razor!
I was like, why does he have Storm Razor?
Why? This is puzzling. Well, Baron is Baron at the end of the day, even though it could have gone a lot better. But now we have the case of two hyper-fed mids going at each other. Kassadin is level 16 now. I think. Is he? Yeah, that's 16. I'm not blind. I'm super nearsighted. I had to lean really close to check. Alright, 31.5 minutes. Two fed mid lanes duking it out, except Kassadin hitting level 16 is traditionally what people consider the game over mark, because this is game over. Unfortunately, Red Team has not had a good track record of taking decisive fights. So, when you have the equivalent of a Gatling gun that shoots nuclear missiles, can you use that weapon properly? That remains to be seen. Because Blue Team, honestly, they're on track to do the Drake reverse sweep, even though it's looking more and more unlikely. They've been slowly losing teamfights despite making good mid-game plays. And even though Red Team came out to a super far ahead early game, this has been a very hard-fought game for them for one reason or the other. Whether by poor lane distribution, poor focusing, poor teamfight control, not calling teamfights, it's an interesting thing to look at. For lack of better euphemisms, it's been a very interesting game. It's 3 towers to 4, and it's also 33 minutes. And with two members that had Baron, Red Team just opt to time out the Baron buff and not really make a push happen with it.
Man, this Nivea really does not know how to use her wall.
Cho'Gath is gonna get caught out here, but the Nivea walled the wrong way, so he's just gonna walk away. Chaos wants to burn him down, actually. Just kidding. He is locked up and killed. But this kind of goes what I'm talking about. When you had two Baron buffs, I'm surprised Red Team just let the time out instead of making a push happen with it. You're stronger than them.
They are stronger. As we saw at the Dragon fight.
But instead here, Cho'Gath is gonna get caught out. There's 10 seconds left on the Drake. Ooh, Nautilus might be next. This might be forcefully engaged. No, never mind, Kassadin! Why'd you walk away? Rufar back in! Oh, you can win this fight! You're level 16! You're so strong! Just delete the backline! Skip past the Scion, delete the backline! Oh, he's gonna get erased. Ooh, that first Rifok should not have been over the wall. Like I said, you're stronger than them, but you need to land your damage. That's gonna be an ace coming up from Blue Team. 5 for 1. So I will say two things. Kassadin's Riftwalk currently is on a 1 second cooldown. You didn't need to first Riftwalk over the wall. You could have just Riftwalk into their clump. You didn't need to Zayas as soon as you landed. You could have just kept Riftwalking and kept dealing out damage, because that was 2.5 seconds in Zayas means that you could have Riftwalked twice. And Riftwalking twice would have deleted somebody. Yeah, you could have also just ignored the Scion, because Scion cannot lock down a Kassadin. Kassadin runs circles around the Scion. But instead, once again, Victor goes unchecked in the teamfight. Even though that was 5v4, that was not a losing teamfight. Until the damage dealers ran away. It seemed like a mixed call, because Kassadin panicked Riftwalk back over the wall when Rammus committed ultimate. But Rammus had the right call there. That was a winnable fight.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I think.
And there it is, the depth charge. Unfortunately, depth charge cannot stop a bullet train. So Scion gets himself out of there.
I'm pretty sure Nivea has a lot more gold now.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Well,
Than
yeah.
Support.
She's quite rich now. Second item Morelos to cut the healing from one person on Red Team. That's not healing that much. You should just really just get demonic instead. That's so much better. The Kassadin, this is where Kassadin starts throwing caution to the wind and they're spamming R. It's, you can one-shot people. With those items, with that level, nobody can survive against you.
Especially like since their team's so squishy.
Oh no, Kassadin! Oh. I mean, if he dies, the game's over. There's a lot of pressure on the mid laner right here. Now he's stacking up Riftwalk in the brush. But he's very slow to stack Riftwalk. Just keep Ring. Just get to the 800 cast and then pop in. He's gonna Riftwalk back over the wall. This seems like red team once again.
Blue team is so squishy. Minus Sion. Ignore Sion.
you can ignore Sion. Sion cannot lock down Kassadin. There's no way.
Alright,
well, Kassadin's cut off from the rest of his team, but that boomerang chunks Anivia for half health. Do you see how much damage you have? Please use it. Like, Rammus can just press R. Press R! Do it! Ah. Oh. Well, it's a very awkward Baron dance, but this is a bad Baron dance for red team. Because you can't really Baron dance when your wave is being pushed in. Somebody has to respond to mid. You can't, but you also can't really give up position here. I don't know what blue team's doing, by the way. Like the Jin's all tapped on Neopets or something. He's not paying attention. And there's the engage coming in. The depth charge lands on the back. It pops the Victor Banshees. And there it is. There's the ham engage. Kha'Zix and the Zarya's up to stop the damage from the Void Field. And there it is. He's going to try to re-engage. The taunt is there. The lockup. Everything. They picked the good team fight. And now it's just a Sire. He's going to slowly be whittled down here. He lands a charge, but it's not enough. He goes zombie mode, but he's only got a huge dinosaur to punch. Unless the Rammus wants to give up his life for some weird noble reason. And there it is, the turn on to the Baron Nashor. Oh, red team's gonna go for Baron, when really they could just end the game. Actually, no, they can't, because yeah, you're right, they can't. They can't. I thought they had the minion waves, except I totally blanked and forgot that nobody took care of the minion waves. So yeah, this is Baron.
Are being pushed in, they can't end the game.
Right, because nobody answered mid throughout this entire sequence.
Even with waves, I don't think they could have ended there. They had 25 seconds to get through 4 towers. That's a little unreasonable.
That's a little unreasonable. But they can push an inhib, you know?
They could probably take an inhib. They can one inhib.
Honestly, like taking inhib is slightly better here.
Well, too bad
I don't even care about Baron at this stage of the game anymore because they don't do anything with this buff. Because look, this is my prophecy. They take Baron buff and then they spend the next 3 minutes dancing a Dragon Pit. So Baron buff just becomes 1500 gold and nothing more.
Jin, I still can't believe Jin didn't build Collector.
He still doesn't have Collector. He went RFC. Did he seriously think he built Collector because he got confused by the item icons? Because what the hell is a Storm Razor? Why would you want a Storm Razor on Jin? What possible asinine reason do you need it for? Well, there's a Psy on top. He has TP. He could come in. But it seems like Jin's gonna do red team a favor and start the dragon for them. There's a teleport coming down. What's red team's answer? The answer is immediately run away from the teleport location as opposed to fighting it. Control gas is going to get controlled up. Kassadin's over the wall. He's popping in now to contribute the damage. He pops the Victor, and there's all the damage go. So that's a really good fight. The Riftwalk's coming in fast and furious. And once again, Saya, for like the billionth time this game, left alone. He's just going to be slowly whittled down. A death by 1,000 cuts. By a boomerang, by an anchor. By an armadillo headbutting you.
The longest kill.
Alright, now Baron 2.0.
End the game!
Now you can end the game. Someone go in the game. Well, okay, Kassadin can do it, but the rest of the team's like, no, we want Drake. There's the teleport coming in. GG is already prematurely called here by 2 members, but that's going to be the end of the game. Team HEE, 4th time the charm as a word. They take 1st place in the final day of Shurima Cup. Congratulations to them. Right? Alright, they want KDA. And there it is.
Well played, Cass. Well, this is what happens when you.
Well played, the red team.
Well,
And
this
they
is what happens
finally
when you
did it.
lockdown for Cass,
Yeah,
so.
they did it. They won Clash on day 4. It was a long and brutal journey, but they finally did it. And I hope they can be happy with these results. That's gonna end the cast here. I would check this replay, but I don't want to drag this too much longer. Congratulations to Team HEE, and that's gonna be the end of it. And MSI Clash.
Was that a third place finish?
It was first.
It's first.
I thought they lost one.
Nope.
No,
Oh,
we
wow.
won.
I lost one mentally.
Yeah, we lost. Yeah, we both lost one mentally.
But
Game
yes, that's
two was
gonna
kinda like-
end the conclusion. MSI Clash is coming up, I believe, next week. I don't know if I'm here to cast it. If I am, I will. We'll see you then.